weekend. I mean, you had SEC women's basketball championship kind of descend into a little bit of chaos for a moment there before South Carolina eventually raises the trophy. Arkansas men's basketball plays well, but another loss, heartbreaking loss, I guess you could call that one. Baseball finishes a 3-game sweep of McNeese. There's spring football. There's free agent signings coming up in the NFL. Major League regular season about a month away. Hey, later on in less than a week, we've got Selection Sunday, and we can start filling out our brackets, man. So feels like a lot of things are coming to a head right now.
You got a Premier League as well. There's 9 matches left, and there's 3 teams separated by a point. Arsenal's up just by goal differential right now. It's out of control. It was a great match on Sunday, and then got to play golf. Took the L. Phil took the L. Didn't play. We shot at 82.
Wow, that sounds
good enough.
High.
Tied for third, which was tied for last place. So it was all right.
82 sounds like it would be a good
77
number for some
and
people.
78 were the other 2 scores. Breaking 80 is kind of what you want to do. Yeah.
Well, how are we feeling about basketball now? You continue to play well enough to lose to good teams, right? So just playing well enough to lose to good teams. I know you beat LSU at home. LSU was just kind of okay. But now I'd have to admit, I wasn't able to watch Saturday's basketball game because we had Friday's baseball game postponed to Saturday. So that was 12 o'clock. I was on the field and then had to call the game. So I didn't watch it. I was following a little bit on the live box score. And well, they came to play today, man. And they're coming to play today. It's been about a month of coming to play every single game. Just not quite enough to beat the really good teams.
That is the one positive takeaway, Phil. The team was pedestrian at best the first 5-6 conference games, and then the last 5-6 games they look like a totally different team. Not enough basketball plays to get the win, not enough winning plays, but they're competitive. The first couple games, kind of make you want to throw up watching them play or lack of play
they're
getting blown. Yeah, they're getting blown out all the time. But at least now they're competitive. They have a fighting spirit about them. There's some moves that need to be made in the portal for sure. But hey, fun. At least they competed. They went down there, and it's one of those 11 o'clock tips, Phil. And we talked about this earlier this year when they went to LSU and they were down 15 at half. Mm-hmm. But you can jump out on them early. If a team's kind of wiping the sleep away from their eyes, if they're not really all in, you can jump in. That's what the Hogs did. And then Alabama made some plays, hit some shots late.
Yeah, it's tough when you lead a game for almost 39 minutes in regulation, and then
38
give it
minutes.
Up at
Yeah,
the end.
didn't have a deficit until overtime.
Too bad, man. Too bad. Caleb Battle, 22 points, but, man, with a chance to knock down. Well, I know in that last minute, again, I wasn't able to watch the game. Battle settling for a step-back 3 instead of driving the lane. That's exactly what you want to do is drive the lane and get to the free throw line as he continues to get to the foul line. Just kind of not the best decision made in a moment where you needed a good decision, and they just didn't have enough left in overtime. So now, man, you're playing on Wednesday in the SEC tournament against Vanderbilt. I hope that's not the last game that we see them play this year.
Who do they play if they win? Do they play Florida or Mississippi State?
I'm not sure. I'd have to take a look at the bracket.
Florida, talk about Amber Heard in the bed. Florida goes to Vanderbilt, and just how can you buy into Florida now? I know I was talking good about Florida.
Just one game.
I don't care if you lose to Vanderbilt. You're sorry. You're not any good. That's just how it is. They're not a Final Four team. There has to be something about you. You this late in the season that's a culture thing. That's a lack of want to. They're so athletic in the coach. That's such a bad look.
If Arkansas wins, they'll play South Carolina.
What time do they play on
6 o'clock. Well, 6 o'clock. Yeah, 6 o'clock Central Time
on Wednesday.
It's a Nashville tournament on Wednesday, and then you would be the second game of the Thursday session, which would be after Mississippi State and LSU, which is noon. So I think there'll be probably about 2:30 if you win that ball game, 2:30 or 3.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
You got to win it first, and then you're at 500. I'm not worried about whether or not you make the NIT. Just see what happens here in see what happens in Nashville, and then kind of go from there. Did you see the brawl? I mean, I hate this that this brawl has taken center stage as far as the women's championship game in the SEC, but I also just can't believe that that's what it descended to. With Flau'jae Johnson pushing one of the South Carolina players, not inadvertently. I mean, there was a pretty physical game between all those players, but it is who did the pushing that caused essentially the big fracas to start, which was 6'7" Camila Cardozo, who is, I mean, she's the biggest player in the SEC. And she had the big moment in their previous game, beating Tennessee with her only three-pointer of the year. Might have been the only three-pointer she's made in her career. A buzzer beater, totally unguarded. And now she's probably not even going to be able to play in South Carolina's first game in the NCAA tournament. Here's the thing. Like, that won't hurt South Carolina anyway against whatever 16 team they play. But it's a black eye for the SEC women's tournament. You know, I mean, there's this celebration going on the dais afterwards with a great South Carolina. I mean, they truly are a great team, but Cardozo couldn't even celebrate with them, and neither of the other players that were ejected could. And you got Dawn Staley and Kim Mulkey having different kinds of statements after the game. It's not a good look. And then there was I guess it was Flau'jae Johnson's brother who comes down from the stands, leaps over the scorer's table to try to get involved in this. And it's just, I mean, that's part of the conversation we've had for the last few weeks about not storming the court. They've got people that are supposed to, you know, kind of break things up in that case. So it's really ugly, really ugly.
I like number 21 from South Carolina.
And then the other thing, too, I don't know if you saw where you see Filipowski intentionally trip a North Carolina player, and that game also descended into a little, not chaos, but you had the North Carolina players taunting the Cameron Crazies, and then they just end up throwing a bunch of water at him. But Filipowski's probably going to get suspended, too. I mean, it was an intentional trip, which plays right into the narrative about him and what happened at Wake Forest with the fans storming the court. But in this case, I mean, there's no defense for what he did. I mean, he said it was inadvertent. You can see him raising that foot and intentionally trying to trip a player. So I don't know. That's some of the stuff that really just kind of stands out from college basketball over the weekend. David texted in already on the McClarty Daniel hotline. He's never seen a women's game that was that rough. And that's how LSU plays. But I remember, now I couldn't even watch that game because I had a baseball game to call. I saw some of the highlights of it, and the positioning that Cardozo was trying to get with Angel Reese in the lane, the two of them, Matt, they were banging at each other. I mean, before the ball even came in, and they were talking smack at each other too. These are two teams that do not like each other, and they're two teams that very well could be destined to play in the Final Four, although I don't know, LSU won't get a number 1 seed, but I hope they don't end up in the same bracket as South Carolina does. Want to see these teams play again, because if and when they do play again, it'll be for a little bit more than the SEC championship, and there shouldn't be a brawl.
Yeah, they'll probably. I could see them meet up in the Final Four. Saw Arkansas State gets a chance to get a bid. I think they played James Madison. They got past. Is it Appalachian State? 67-65. So they're in the championship game. There might be one team in Arkansas going to the dance.
Well, we'll be rooting for them for sure. I saw Little Rock fell just short against Morehead State. Gave up a huge lead early, but fought back and turned it into a ball game. So, I mean, I'd love to see a team out of Arkansas make the big dance. So, absolutely, let's go A-State. I'll be a Red Wolf fan today. And halftime on this Monday is a little more packed than usual. Connor O'Gara joins us hour number 3. We'll have Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen in the 12 o'clock hour. Of course, a big week of college basketball, championship week, and then Selection Sunday coming up soon. And in just a moment, we'll talk with Pig Trail Nation's Mike Irwin about everything going on in Razorback land, and halftime is back in just a moment.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Mount Magazine's a cool place. It's one of the more underrated places in all of Arkansas. Petty G Mountain's pretty cool, too.
Been to Petty G many times.
Yeah, there's so many cool things. But yes, of all places to have the talk, Ty Richardson had the talk on Mount Magazine. How about that?
My dad had a diagram and everything. Like he was drawing stuff.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
0.9% financing on a new 23 or 24 GMC Sierra at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Save up to $6,500 off with factory rebates on a new GMC Sierra truck, or take $3,750 off with 0.9% financing or 2.9% financing for up to 72 months on Sierra 1500s. 6.2-liter engine excluded. Conquer with confidence in a new GMC Sierra from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Subiaco and Scranton, if you made a resolution to get reliable internet for the new year, Wave Rural Connect can make that happen. The latest zone covering Subiaco and Scranton is now open. Make this New Year's resolution come true with internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or phone 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and coming soon to Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
At A&P Auto Sales, we take pride in the way we do business. We focus 100% on our customers and believe car buying should be a fun, hassle-free experience. We will work with your budget and offer a dependable car at a price you can afford. Bank financing is available with approved credit, or cash is always accepted. Hop on over to 1202 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren and choose from a wide selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Contact us today at 353-1246 or check us out online at apautosales.net. Find your next car at A&P Auto Sales in Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Appreciate Mike Irwin coming on a little earlier than we've been doing recently. Of course, Mike with Pig Trail Nation, longtime journalist covering Arkansas athletics. Mike, always appreciate your time here on Halftime. How you doing today?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Doing good, man. Enjoying watching baseball. What's got most of your attention right now as far as Arkansas is concerned?
Well, it's a really tough time because you're keeping an eye on football started up. That's very interesting. Baseball had a great weekend. Basketball, another tough loss. I've said before, I'm not giving up. I realize a lot of fans have lost interest, but I don't know how to explain this, guys. A team that is in a hole like this one is and really doesn't have much to play for, you would think, that's out there battling the way they are, it grabs my attention. Because this is where you see a difference between fans and players. Fans want wins, and when they don't get the wins, and especially when it's a really bad year, they're just going to start letting go. But players still have to go out and play. And do they do what the football team did at the end of last season, or do they do what this bunch of guys are doing, which is playing their tails off and not always winning? Two tough road losses that could have won both of those games. Just needed maybe one call that wasn't made at the end of the game. And I'm still interested in what they're doing.
That one ref, Mike, there was one ref that was just absolutely pitiful. Mike, and that you all valid points. My most improved player this year would be Mekhi Mitchell, just from where he started the year to how he's playing now. I think he's the most. Who do you think's the most improved player on this team?
Yeah, I would agree with that. And then, of course, Battle has come on lately, and he just keeps playing, and he's playing that little game where people want to know if he's coming back, and he says, I'm here, but he doesn't really say he's coming back. But I was on a high school football team years ago that just had a bad season, and we just never stopped. And the men around town, it bothered me because I grew up around those men, and I really cared about what they thought. And they just quit on us. And all we had was ourselves, and we got it together and won our last 4 games and really stomped the fool out of all 3 of the last 3 games. We made a statement. No, we didn't go down in the books or anything, but we were happy when the season was over because we never quit. And that's when I like this bunch so much. I don't see any evidence that they're giving up.
You think in some cases their audition wouldn't be the right word, but like trying to make the right impression to potentially stick around, or maybe in some cases like get in their eyes a better NIL deal moving forward? Because I think a lot of cases you like drop the rope, you just don't care. Well, you got reasons to care if you want to play here or maybe somewhere else.
Yeah, there's a possibility of that. I'm not inside that locker room. I don't know for sure. There are people that try to convince me that Musselman's in there coaching hard because he wants another job. And there are people saying, hey, these players, they want to go somewhere else. They know they got to step it up. And it could be that. We'll see. We've only got a few more days left because I don't think they're going anywhere. There's not probably anybody that they would play. They have to win 5 in the SEC tournament. I don't think anybody they play is anybody they've beaten so far. But that doesn't mean they couldn't. They're not going to run the table. I just don't see it. And it doesn't look like people have tried to convince me that based on the numbers, there's no NIL or NIT possibility. I think it's a much greater chance that they just don't want to go to it. So we'll see how all that plays out. And then, sometime next weekend when it's all over, we'll see what happens because things are going to start. We're going to know some things pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to ask next a little bit is what does this team need to do in the offseason? What type of player, who do they need to get better to be able to be back to a Sweet 16 Elite 8 team?
Yeah, they got to get a couple of bigs, I think. So that's where I'd start. I still think they need some kind of strong power forward, and I'd take another point guard, So that's where I'd go. And then, a lot of that depends on who comes back.
Right.
And so we know that they don't have any bigs left. So you got to believe if Musselman's here, that's where his target is. But again, I'd like to see a 6'8" power forward guy that can rebound and battle when he has to, even if if two bigs are on the bench with fouls or something, he can still go out there and defend the paint. Somebody like that. And then you can't, to me, you really need two solid point guards.
Hey, Mike, have you had a chance to watch much football practice? I love that they're opening football practice a little bit more here in spring because I just don't want to go by the sound bites. The sound bites, you can't believe everything that you hear.
Sure.
You can believe your eyes. You can believe what you see. Have you had a chance to see much?
Yeah, I've seen enough, and it is different from a year ago. The first thing that I would notice is that, and this goes back years and years, when you've got a new coordinator and you're putting in a new offense, usually the first 2 or 3 practices of the spring, there are a lot of busted plays. Wait a minute, back up, let's start that over again. Coaches yelling, come on, line back up. And I haven't seen any of that. Not only that, but they're going at a pace. I mean, they're just lining up and boom, run a play, boom, run a play. And I'm not saying everything's perfect, but they're not screwing up. And the top 2 quarterbacks, Taylon Green and Malachi Singleton, are completing about 70% of their passes. And what I'm impressed with is sometimes even when the passes are off target, we've seen some receivers really make some pretty nice catches. There's some decent speed at wide receiver position now. And then, they got a freshman running back from Benton. That guy is just, everybody's looking at him because he weighs about 250 and he looks like he runs a 4.4. He may not, but he looks like he does. So all of that's pretty impressive. The thing, honestly, that's just, I'm looking at it, and I just look at it, and I go, what does that mean? And it's Petrino, because he's not what I was used to. This guy had that BMFP moniker for a reason. He was a bad guy, I mean, he'd get after you in practice. Anybody that ever watched his practice will tell you. And he's just laid back, teaching, patient. You see smiles on his face, and I'm going, who is this guy? What is happening here? But they're having fun right now, it looks like, and I don't see any problem with that. People have said, well, you shouldn't be having fun after practice. Well, they're doing some things with Hog Plus, and they're setting this stuff up. And, these guys are not last year's guys. There may be some carryover, but they got a right to be their own team. And I don't think they should have to just sit there and act like, yeah, we're ashamed. We've got to prove we're better. I think they'll be better. I think the attitude is better. But you're right, Phil. You just can't. What I'm looking for is that first scrimmage, and I think it'll come this weekend. When you see actual tackling, offensive line versus D line, what running backs can do to get open, can they get? Is a guy going to get 5 yards or 18 yards? What about the quarterbacks? How are they going to handle that? And how's the secondary with the receivers? So, because we're going to be allowed to watch the scrimmages, I think we'll know more than we did last year at this time.
Hey, have they started using their headsets? Will these headsets be on in the scrimmage? And does a defensive player, is it offense only on the headset communication?
Well, that rule hasn't passed yet. I think they're going to vote on it next month. But everybody, Sam Pittman said it's going to pass. Everybody's pretty sure that it is. And from what I understand, there'd be the quarterback would have it on offense, and then the consensus seemed to be that probably one of the linebackers would have it on defense. It's interesting, and I don't know that they do have the helmets. I've heard that discussed. Whether they would use them, go ahead and try it out, I don't know, but it's an interesting question. Here's the interesting part. There'll be somebody controlling that. I'm assuming it'll be part of the crew. I don't know if it's a ref, but somebody like that, and they shut it off at 15 seconds on the play clock. Well, what if you start snapping the ball with 15 seconds left? That means your Bobby Petrino could be talking to the quarterback right up until the ball is snapped. I can see an advantage to that if you're want to go tempo anyway, and then that if you don't go below 15, you never shut that thing off. before the ball is snapped. I think that would be very interesting to see how that works.
That's my question. Surely, as soon as the ball snapped, they shut it off too. Like there's
yes.
that. Okay.
They do that, but the point is, it doesn't go off automatically, or until it drops below 15 seconds. So if you snap the ball quicker, you're lined up. A defense is lining up to face you. And Petrino's, if he's upstairs, I don't know if he will be, but if he's up there, he can see that and make a correction right before the snap.
Hey, Mike, Jimmy Smith going over to TCU. It seems like this is something that must have been in the works for, I don't know, for who knows how long, but I don't think this was like a surprise to them the day that this came out. They've got Colby Smith apparently ready to go as the new running backs coach, and had worked with Bobby Petrino before. What sort of an effect do you see this having? I mean, it is sort of sudden to happen during spring ball.
Yeah, I don't know if some people have suggested they told him to leave. I don't see any evidence of that. I don't think they were unhappy with Jimmy Smith. He was a good recruiter. I think maybe he was looking around. The one guy on this staff that I've been keeping an eye on and have told people, you don't want to lose him as your tight ends coach, because that guy is really good. Mm-hmm. And he's still here. So I think what we're seeing is Petrino is surrounding himself with people that he's familiar with. Now he's going to have two guys there that he's worked with before, and Pittman's basically working with your O-line coach. So I think all of that is good. If you watch Petrino before, what I've told people is, in effect, he really was the wide receivers coach, the running backs coach, the tight ends coach, because he had control of everything. There might have been a guy in that room with them, but we all know who was controlling everything. And I still think you're going to see it work that way. And at least in two cases, he's got somebody he's familiar with at the running back position and the receivers position. And I think those are the most important, too, in terms of making this offense work. So I got to believe he's comfortable. And that's, I think, what Sam Pittman wanted. I think he wanted to do two things. I think he wanted Petrino to understand, I'm not going to interfere with your running of the offense. I'm going to let you do it. And I'm going to let you have people that you need, that you feel like you need to have. So it looks pretty good right now.
Mike, we'll leave it there. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And, maybe we now know why Bobby Petrino might have not been so nice as the head coach, because he was coaching every position. That's a tough life to live.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay.
Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation. It's already a big enough job if you're a head coach, Matt. What about being the position coach for 3 or 4 positions, too?
Well, your job well done today. You got Mike to laugh. So, anytime you can get a guest to laugh like that was a real laugh, too.
He does have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
I mean, it is legit. It is legit. But you actually got to say something, I guess, halfway funny to get him to do it. Some people do the fake laugh. I don't think Mike does a fake anything.
Right. He just wouldn't laugh, huh?
Exactly. We just kind of have a really weird pregnant pause. Don't pause. Call the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963, and stay with Halftime. We're right back.
You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now. Live coverage of the 2024 SEC Tournament in Nashville, Tennessee is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas. Family owned and operated and making your family dreams come true for over 70 years. Always online at crabtreerv.com. And by North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education. Dispose of your surplus prescription drugs with no questions.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile device. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team. And remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor A from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it
which happens every once in a while here on Halftime. Nick and Lowell wants to know if Arkansas gets an NIT invite, do you think they would accept it?
100% you accept it. I don't understand what this competitors compete. I don't want you up there if you don't want to compete. I mean, what? That's ridiculous. Who do you think you are to not accept the NIT bid?
There
Get out
have
of
been
here.
some programs that don't accept it, but then
How can you ask for money? How can you do that and say, "Oh, we don't want to play an NIT"? Get over yourself. Go win it.
yeah, well, they certainly can make it. They certainly can make it. You find out on Sunday. Isn't it the first 4 out are the top 4 seeds? I think that's how it works. I'm pretty sure. I know that how that works for the new.
That'd be a 2 or a
women's
3 seed, huh?
WBIT. I don't know where they would get slotted. Honestly, I mean, there is a chance that you end up. If you don't win 2 games in Nashville, then you have a losing record for the season. So you're not going to get a good seed in any postseason tournament with a losing record. And honestly, I think you would. I don't know if you'd get the bid with a sub 500 record, at least 500 record. But then again, I'm not a member of a selection committee, so what do I know about that? 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline.
So I was thinking about this the other day. I wanted to see what you thought. I think the college basketball is messing up with they have March Madness. You have the NCAA tournament with 64 teams. I think that's the perfect amount.
68. Remember, there's the first 4.
But that's where they're messing up.
Right.
They need to go. They need to keep it at 64 and have another tournament. Have a real secondary tournament like the NIT, and have the 32 best, the second best teams in there, and you could publicize it or whatever. I think that would be a good.
Well, and the NIT, truthfully, feels more like, I know you could call it like a consolation prize, but I think part of it is, where fans feel their program fits into the landscape. There's some teams.
Well, they can make it more exclusive.
Well, by
that's what I mean.
The amount of play, with the amount of teams. This BIT tournament that they've started for women's basketball, which is essentially the NIT now, it's a 32-team tournament. It's exactly what you're talking about. You still have 68 in the NCAA tournament, but the first 4 out get the top seeds in this new BIT.
So if then
you go from there.
So you mean the first 4 out, like that didn't get invited?
That's right.
Okay.
Basically, the teams who got their bubble burst, the ones who had their bubble burst, who were sitting there in their viewing facility, just sitting on the edge of their seats, like praying, hoping, getting millions of texts from friends and family and other people about, man, you really believe you deserve it. But you know how I feel about the number 69 team. The 69th team gets the smallest violin played ever for them, but they also get a top 4 seed in the NIT.
Yeah, I mean that's it can be a good tournament. They could make it a good tournament.
Go out there, play with a chip on your shoulder. Didn't A&M have one of those NIT runs after having the chip on their shoulder from the world's smallest violin?
Where would you want the Final Four? The NIT was in Madison Square Garden, the Mecca. Not anymore, though, right? So where would you want it?
Vegas now.
Where would you want it though? Do you like that? Like, is that a?
I mean, I love the idea of it being in Madison Square Garden, but that was a tradition from when the NIT was the real national championship. I mean, it was at the same level. First, it was a higher level tournament than the NCAA tournament. Then it was kind of the same for a while, I guess, up until like the late 50s or early 60s. I don't think. I mean, look. I mean, you want to have a building where with a smaller crowd, it doesn't look like a bad crowd, and that's what's going to happen at Madison Square Garden. I like what the women's basketball BIT is doing because they're playing their Final Four at Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Butler, where Hoosiers was filmed. They're probably not going to get like huge crowds, but it's a cool atmosphere, that's for sure. That's a great building to be in, no matter what it is you're doing, whether you're just there visiting or being there for a Butler game or for this. Or remember, they hosted NCAA tournament games there during the bubble pandemic tournament of 2021. But yeah, I think the men's tournament is in Vegas. Look, I mean, it's like you want to have it. You can't have it in one of the. Can you really have it in one of the so-called meccas of college basketball? That's what they're doing with Butler, because that is sort of a mecca. But are you going to do that in Fog Allen or Bud Walton or something like that? So I think I'm assuming they're doing it probably where the NBA does the summer league, because I think you're going to get kind of the same amount of crowd, the same sort of crowd. Let's take a call. Brian in Ozark is here. Hey, Brian, thanks for calling today. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? First of all, I'd like to comment on how great the Arkansas baseball team is doing. And they look like they're getting stronger every weekend, no doubt about that.
And ranked
They
number
actually
one
look
now.
like a what? They look like the national contender right now to win the national title. Second of all, I'd like to kind of disagree with Matt on Arkansas go to the NIT. They're not going to win that. I don't think they could win the Arkansas high school tournament. But anyways, I'll hang up and listen.
Okay, thank you.
Phil got a laugh too. There we go. Everybody's laughing today.
Yeah, we're in a great mood. I'm not supposed to be happy like this on Mondays. Mondays are the days where I'm usually a little touchy, but I don't feel like that today. Probably because I didn't have like a 7-hour drive after a baseball game to make it home yesterday and then record a podcast. I'm feeling good. It's probably your smiling face, Matt. When I pulled up the FaceTime, you put me in that good mood.
Well, I like it when you lie to me.
There's more lies to come. We still have more than 2 hours left in this show. Cecil's next up. Cecil tells nothing but the truth. What's up, Cecil? How are you?
Hey, fellas, how y'all doing?
Great.
I got a few things to say. We played a really good basketball game. I was really impressed. I really like Battle. Battle is one of those.
He's a dog, ain't he?
Mitchell, yeah, I love the way he plays. He scores. I don't even think he missed a free throw the other day. And Mitchell, we played a good game. We lost the game. But, man, hey, I got to put that on the refs because Mitchell was fouled on that dunk. The ball popped out, and he got hit right in the face. They let the play go on, and then we went in overtime and lost the game. But we're definitely getting better, regardless of the record. We're definitely getting better, and I just I figure, man, I mean, they could do whatever in the tournament. We could do back in the day, we were 13 and 16 or something like that, and came and won the SEC and went to the tournament. It could happen. You just never know. You just got to get in there and play ball. And the women, that game, I watched that game, and man, they need to get some ordinance in that, man. Them chicks is they just getting out of hand, man, and that hair, man, is just too much, man. It's a beauty shop on the basketball court. I don't get that. And again, Phil, you did say South Carolina's in a better, even though the big girl that pushed the girl down, she got suspended. They're gonna play the sorriest team in the league, so that's just a pass.
Wow, I mean,
but
part of the
they need to get.
One of the weird truths about South Carolina women's basketball is that the backups could probably win the SEC too.
Right.
Yeah. Cecil, appreciate your phone call, man. It's good to hear from you. Do you realize, I have to laugh here, Brian's phone call was interrupted by the emergency alert system.
Uh-oh.
You want to talk about the absolute best planning by the emergency alert system, whomever it is that programmed that in. Do you think you can program that in for every one of his phone calls? You couldn't have planned it any better. It's like a script that was written for him. I heard the buzzing in the background, but I could still hear Brian talking. Everybody else just started hearing, and that's what they hear a lot when Brian calls. It's kind of fun.
Mitchell's been a joy to watch. It's a shame he's not coming back next year because I think he's the most improved player on this basketball team. He is, man. He's been fun. He's been making a lot of good basketball plays, and then. What do you think?
He did get fouled, though, right? I mean, I even saw the replay of that. I mean, it was like an elbow and a slap to the face.
The thing was, the refs were consistent about being inconsistent.
Yeah.
The refs were horrible. I mean, there was one ref I thought it was the worst I'd ever seen. You think Battle can average 20 a game next year in conference play?
I don't see why he can't.
I mean, he's good. I think so. I think next year he could average 20.
Well, what is he averaging over this 5-game stretch? I mean, 22 feels low.
He set the record over that 4-game stretch, like it was the NCAA record. What was it, 141 points, 146 points?
I don't even know.
Not NCAA, sorry, SEC.
Well, here's why he can do it, too. If you get to the foul line as often as he does and shoot free throws
Best free throw shooter I remember up there. I mean, anybody that plays that many minutes, shooting 12, 13, 4, and making them, I mean, it's ridiculous.
If you're relying on somebody that's like a three-point shooter, there's going to be a slump in that. If you're relying on somebody with a mid-range game, there's going to be a little slump in that. And you can't always get to the rim. You got to be able to make your free throws. And if you get there like 13 or 14 times a game, heck yes, he could score 25 to 30 a game at that point. And look, it's not a one-game thing either. The scouting report's out. He's still getting to the line. I still feel like he should have gotten to the line one more time against Alabama. One more time. Hey, Halftime is brought to you every day by Crabtree RV Center in Alma. You're still paying your sales tax in full on any of their new 2023 models that are still in stock, but there's not many of them. Got a few days left to get this going. Get over to Crabtree RV Center in Alma at the junction of I-40 and I-49 to get your sales tax paid in full and stay with Halftime.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. You've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
It's the third annual car show brought to you by McKenzie's Racing Supply. Bring your street rods, hot rods, and race cars from all area racetracks. Everyone is invited for a fun day of cars and music at McKenzie's Racing Supply, 1111 South 4th Street, Van Buren. Saturday, March 23rd from 11 to 1. Trophies will be awarded. Live music from the Jug Hill Annie Band. Sponsored by SDI Incorporated, Midwest Automation, JRT Trucking, Eddie Knight Auto Sales, and Extreme Diesel.
Hi, this is Garen Armstrong with Shamrock Roofing and Construction. That small roofing company my father started 45 years ago has now become one of the largest roofing companies in America by following one rule, the golden rule. No one can install a better roof at a better price, a better warranty than Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Let our local family serve your family. Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Call today or visit us online at shamrockroofer.com.
Husbands, sons, daughters, honor your wife or mother for Mother's Day at the inaugural Mystery at the Fort Legacy Ball, benefiting Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center on May 11th at the U.S. Marshals Museum. Buy your tickets today for this 1940s mystery dinner, coupled with an exciting night of investigative entertainment and lively dancing with the band Who Shot JR. For more information, call 479-452-2260.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and coming soon to Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
a look around the window. With a little girl in a Hollywood bungalow. Are you a lucky little lady in the city of light? Or did you know the lost angel city of night?
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Some notes from SEC women's basketball. Flau'jae Johnson's brother, Trayron Milton, has been arrested. He was the guy who jumped over the scores table and grabbed a hold very briefly grabbed a hold of Camila Cardozo briefly. He has been arrested and has been charged with assault and battery and disorderly conduct. And please stay off the floor. If you pay to get into the game or you're on the pass list, stay off the floor. And Kyra Elsie has been fired as the Kentucky women's basketball coach after 2 years. None of that matters anymore than C Unit's halftime homework and pop culture education. The Doors' first 2 albums was his assignment. C Unit, you have the floor.
Jim was a character, but man,
I like his first few words there, Matt. Do you think he was accurate? A character?
he was something.
Do you think Val Kilmer should have won an award? Should he have won an Oscar for that performance?
That was a good performance. I'd be fine with it, man. Just a wild movie. It was entertaining. It was, made you just want to sit there and kind of just take it all in. It was just wild.
So, all right, did you have a chance to listen to either of the first 2 albums, The Doors' self-titled album and Strange Days? I know you watched the movie, but the album...
I didn't get to listen to them.
Okay, well, that's something you can do at any point because music is a thing that we usually have on our phones these days. So if you like the movie, I think you're going to be entertained at least by...
Did he just come up with lyrics on the fly? That's the way I interpreted it. Like, he could just, get on a microphone and just start singing. But maybe not.
I don't know how he wrote them. I just know. It was poetic. It was poetic.
It was good. That's what I'm saying.
He's not Jackie Moon with "Let me put my poems in." You got a poem book, but he has a poem book. He has poetry. I mean, that was kind of his.
Okay.
Multiple. Yeah.
Well, you're gonna need if you watch the movie. I mean, you've obviously heard a lot of the songs. Then
he seems misunderstood. He seems like he's kind of on one path, and everybody else is maybe not quite on that same path.
Well, is it better to burn out or fade away? Begs the question.
I mean, he went out. How would you say he went out on top? I mean, he didn't look very good those last couple of years. When you look at the photos of him and him going around France and Paris, I don't know. That's a really good question, Matt, to ask. Go out in a blaze of glory or go out slowly and painfully, but at least be remembered if you go out like a flash like he did. The other thing about this, too, is it was sure, he was on a different path. He was a little bit different than a lot of others, but he was also drunk a lot. The drink and the drugs do kind of have an effect on people sometimes.
What does Philip Seymour Hoffman call him in Almost Famous? A drunken buffoon. It's like anybody can do that. The Who's where it's at.
We had somebody text in when we first assigned the Doors to C Unit that said that he must have been watching that movie because he said, Morrison was a drunken buffoon. He needs to be watching Pink Floyd. And I'm thinking to myself, well, hold on a moment. You think Pink Floyd didn't drink and do all sorts of psychedelic drugs too? It maybe not to the point where they were just slobbering fools like Morrison might have come across sometimes.
Well, Sid, he outdid himself out of the band. He went, so yeah. I mean, I'd say that was...
They kind of wrote, I don't know, an entire album dedicated to that whole thing.
His concerts looked really fun, I will say.
You have listened to any Pink Floyd, C Unit?
Yeah.
Dark Side of the Moon? It's only, maybe the most listened to album ever.
I don't think I listened to that, but I know I've listened to some Pink Floyd.
Oh, boy, we might have our assignment for this next weekend. Dark Side of the Moon and Wizard of Oz at the same time. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Should be a lot of fun. Stick with halftime. We're into the second hour in just a moment.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westart Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westart Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, beautiful sunshine. Our high temperatures today will be right around 65 degrees. Tonight, mainly clear. Overnight lows will drop down low to mid-40s. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine. Our high right around 70. And then more sunshine Wednesday. Our high will be in the low to mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. I hate everything you just said.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
They're hilarious.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Matt Jones, man, take it to the house. And the dunk.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
What's able one Razorback?
Second half, very happy.
And vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's go to the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
It's our second hour of halftime. Great to be with you today. Had a lot of fun in that first. How many movie quotes in that first hour, Matt?
Oh my goodness, too many.
Yeah. So we I would say we probably lead the league in movie quotes on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. And speaking of movie quotes, I've started to give Bubba the nickname Kubrick. We learned over the weekend.
The Space Odyssey?
No, well, yeah, that's right. But the reason I name him Kubrick, we might have talked about this last year. This baseball card. This baseball card that I'm showing Matt Jones right now is Bubba Carpenter.
That's a look right there.
It's called the Kubrick stare.
That's a look.
This is the same look that
I'm on his
Malcolm
side.
McDowell
Yeah.
gave everybody in A Clockwork Orange, that Private Pile gave everybody when he started to
Ooh,
descend
that one,
into
yeah.
madness.
Okay.
In Full Metal Jacket, and
He's there.
Certainly, Nicholson in The Shining gave this look over and over and over again.
Well, I'll just stay away then. Not only am I on his side, I'll go to the other side of the room.
You're on his side, but you're scared of him at the same time. We learned that there is a nickname for Phil, and I had not heard of this. Apparently, Pip is a nickname for Phil or for Philip. I know it comes from Great Expectations, but I thought Pip would just be a nickname for somebody named Pippa, but apparently that's a nickname for me. And he insists now on calling me Pip at least once a game since we found this out.
There we go.
I got to drop one on him, and it's Kubrick.
We've been looking for the Phil Elson Fish City nickname.
I got dozens of baseball nicknames that I would get fired if I even said one of them here on this show. I mean, I'm sure you had plenty of nicknames in the football locker room, Matt, that you couldn't even say on the show. That's just part of sports.
98% of what's said in the locker rooms you don't say out. Yeah.
No,
if people were actually in a locker room, they would you wouldn't believe it.
Well, so there's a difference between the idea of you're just not supposed to say anything that happens in there because it's a sanctuary, but also the idea that like 98% of locker room nicknames are not repeatable in mixed company. Yes.
Yeah.
Including like every single one of them that I've been given in baseball. Pip, not dirty. Well, maybe if you think about it a little, maybe it's 25% dirty. I don't know. Steelers are going to win the Super Bowl now, Matt. They're absolutely going to win the Super Bowl. I'm ready to drink all of the Kool-Aid now that Russell Wilson is going to sign with the Steelers on Wednesday. He made one visit. Broncos said you can visit anybody. He made one visit. Apparently he went to a Penguins hockey game, or was it a Pitt basketball? I think it was a Pitt basketball game. Visited a couple of the other spots around town, and he's ready to sign for $1.2 million. I don't know if this is for him to be the starter or if this is for him to compete with Kenny Pickett. All I know is Russell Wilson's going to be a Steeler now.
Great move for everybody. Everybody wins that. Kenny Pickett gets to learn and see a veteran go about it. Russell Wilson gets to wash away the last 2 years in Denver and kind of throw away that tape, and it's a legacy thing for him. He thinks he can, he wants to. Odds are, I would give you these odds right here. Tomlin has his first ever losing record with in professional sports, or they win a Super Bowl. Which one do you think is more likely to happen?
Probably the losing record, if I'm being honest about it.
But you're getting a Hall of Fame type quarterback. A great organization.
This has worked, once? It's worked with Peyton Manning. That's it.
Well, Tom Brady too.
Tom Brady too, but he's not Tom Brady. He's not Peyton Manning.
The best thing it works is on the books, because Denver's paying him $38 million and Pittsburgh's getting him at 1.8 or whatever you said, whatever the league minimum it is.
Well,
it's a no-brainer.
I hope it's a competition. I don't want to just hand him the job here, because you got a first rounder that has shown a flash or two, maybe in 2 years. Hopefully it's a competition. But it's like, also, do you see Mac Jones has been traded to Jacksonville?
That was weird, I thought.
So now you got two quarterbacks, both picked in the first round of the same draft.
But it's definitely Trevor's team, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So he gets to learn too. You got that could be healthy. I mean, and it's good competition. And Mac probably needed he needed a year off anyways, after he was kind of getting beat up there in New England.
Well, I was looking at the first round quarterbacks from that draft, which was 2021. Look, like none of them, except for Trevor Lawrence, are about to start for the team that drafted them. Zach Wilson, I mean, the Jets, I'm surprised they haven't released him yet. They're still trying to get something for him. Trey Lance, who went third overall to the Niners, he's the third stringer now for Dallas. I don't even know if he wears a uniform anymore. Justin Fields, 11 to the Bears. They're about to trade him. And then there's Mac Jones, who got 2 years to start, showed some signs, and now he's been traded. And Trevor Lawrence is the only one. And I think Lawrence is a good NFL quarterback. I think they're still waiting for him to get great. And I was starting to wonder about, you'll have how many quarterbacks are going in the first round this year? There's Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels. I know J.J. McCarthy is moving up boards. Bo Nix maybe, Penix maybe. And then I think Spencer Rattler can be a good NFL quarterback. I don't know if he'll go in the first round, but potentially you could see 6 of them.
That's wild. I saw Baker. He signed a 3-year deal. That they won a playoff game. I guess that you kind of bet on yourself. Went out there. They re-signed Mike Evans. I think Mike Evans first ballot Hall of Famer, but that's big for Tampa. That makes them viable. I mean, that division too with the Saints. Who's there? Is Derek Carr their quarterback? Then you got Carolina. They're still with Bryce. I mean, you're still there. And then is that Atlanta? Is that
the Falcons? Who the assumption is
Atlanta has some talent.
They're going to sign Kirk Cousins.
Okay, see how he is. See how a 35-year-old guy is after an Achilles pop. We'll see. He wasn't the most athletic anyway, so it'll be interesting.
I just wonder. So Wilson's 36. It's not an injury or anything that did him in this last year. It was just a bad team, and his numbers I think were just where they were okay, but he didn't play well this last year. I just think there were a lot of conflicts with him and with Peyton and so many different coordinators and head coaches, different ownership that traded for him and then he ended up playing for. I think it was a franchise in chaos, Matt. The Steelers are not a franchise in chaos. I don't think they've made the best decisions that they're known to make, but they're not in chaos.
The Denver Broncos, where their draft is, I wonder if they, they probably found a quarterback they like. You just mentioned 6, and it only takes 1, Phil. So I wonder if they got a top 10 pick, if they got one of those quarterbacks, and then you're getting him since you're paying Russell. You kind of have to get a cheaper quarterback, anyways.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if they might re-sign Mason Rudolph or. Truthfully, I really like in 2 years they'll be looking for another.
They have the 12th. It looks like they have the 12th in the first round.
Charlie's on hold here. Let's take a call on the McClarty Daniel hotline from Charlie, and then we have Neil Atkinson coming up in the next segment. Charlie, what's going on? How are you?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing, Matt? I'm actually with you on that. Threw out there to Phil. I could more likely the Steelers win a Super Bowl before Mike Tomlin have a losing record. How many years has he been coaching in Pittsburgh?
I think it's been
18, 20.
It was 18.
Yeah.
Look, the defense is good. They're still good. The offensive line took steps forward. They look better offensively in the last few games. There isn't a dynamic quarterback on that team, whether it's Rudolph or Pickett.
It's such a tough division.
It is. And I'm not even sure if Russell Wilson is a dynamic quarterback still, but I think he's better than the other options.
I agree. Let me throw this out there, too. During this tenure, have y'all had any of these? Because some of these offensive coordinators that y'all have had, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but y'all need to get somebody in there a little bit more innovative.
They hired Arthur Smith, who had been the head coach of the Falcons. Seems like a good hire.
Okay. Well, I think that's a solid hire. I think, I'm with you. He definitely wants to run the football. We know that.
Yeah.
Obviously, and be physical, but we'll see. I think that's a solid move. Probably one of their better hires in a while as far as OCs. I think that helps quarterbacks, in my opinion, too. So, and whoever wins that job will win it. I think they'll have to earn it. As far as this basketball guy, let me ask y'all something. Matt, I know you saw the game. How does Makai Mitchell not get that call right there at the end? Explain that to me. And I know we're on the road, and I know much after a lot of these losses, but I'll tell you, the officiating in that game in the first and the second half sucked both ways. I thought we got some calls that we shouldn't have, and Bama did too. My thing is, though, for these tournament games, am I right about this, Phil? They bring the crews that are supposedly the best, right, to these tournaments, or how does that work? Because some of these officiating crews, I don't know what it is, man. I don't see how Mitchell does not get that call. I'm not trying to say that's the reason Arkansas lost. I know that's one play, but when you're playing a team like that on the road, it's just tough, man. And anyways, I did not know James Madison was in the top 10, Phil. I sat there and looked at that, and I'm like, in baseball, and I'm like, wow, that was actually a really good team. So anyway, excited for opening weekend, too, for conference play. Y'all have a good one.
All right, appreciate that, Charlie. Appreciate that very much. Wait, James Madison is ranked? I mean, I'll be honest about this. I don't check the rankings all the time because they really don't matter all that much at this point of the season. I don't see them on the rankings, but I think they're a good bet. They were a good baseball team. Hogs are ranked number 1 now, Matt. Baseball America, D1 Baseball. They already have a target on their backs. It's no different. Number 1, that's great. Stay number 1 for a while.
Let's go baseball.
It's being number 1 in the NCAA tournament, like actually being the number 1 seed, where people get really afraid of things because of the so-called jinx. And look, it's a thing now. You haven't had the national title for a team that's been the number 1 overall seed since 1999. I wouldn't worry about being number 1 right now. We're going to break here on halftime. Neil Atkinson is standing by from Bet Sarazin. We'll have him in just a moment.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be your number 1 source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile device. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team. And remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Let them make you a clown. Let them leave you up in the air. Let them boss you rock and roll. And let the good times roll. Let the good times roll. Let the good times roll.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
So over to the McClarty Daniel Hotline, and Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen is here with us today. It's a big week. It's always a big week in sports when it comes to gambling, but with the championship week underway and Selection Sunday coming up on Sunday, I guess it's a little bit of a bigger week than usual, right, Neil?
Oh, without a doubt. Just as a side note, on Saturday was our biggest college basketball betting day that we've had, and I think it may have just edged out what we did on the first day of the tournament. The main NCAA tournament last year. So, the last day of regular season, especially mainly SEC, there was a few that went over on Sunday. But, yeah, if that bodes well, we're going to have a big week, and then the week after that's going to be even bigger. So, the magic of the tournament time is my favorite time of year, especially from a bookmaking perspective, because unlike the Super Bowl and the national championships and things like that, we don't have all of our eggs in one basket, so it's a little bit easier to mitigate our risk. But each week that gets a little tougher as the teams pare down as we go to the different weekends.
Well, we've got an Arkansas team that's in action today. Arkansas State going for a Sun Belt championship. That's James Madison minus 5.5 today, but also some Red Wolves boosts. We're usually talking about Razorback boosts.
Oh, yeah, we try to do them all the time. And the boost that we like to do on those is we usually do the spread and the over, because that's the most popular bet that people do. And usually when you put those together, you're only going to get like 2.5 to 1 on your money. And I think we've got this one at plus 300, so you're getting 3 to 1 on your money. If you're a $100 better, that's about a $50 extra payout on your $100 bet. So that's pretty significant. And that's why you want to use those specials if that's what you're going to bet. And then, we've already got prop games up, prop action up for tomorrow's baseball game. And we've already got the first props up for the Arkansas versus Vanderbilt in the first round of the SEC. Don't have the lines out quite yet for those. Those will probably come out early in the morning and the morning of those tournaments. Probably get the SEC one Wednesdays out late tomorrow afternoon. But a lot of people are looking ahead to that. And looks like the Hogs, if they're gonna make the dance, they're gonna have to run the table, and that's a pretty tall order. And but heck, anything can happen. It's sports.
I know last week Bet Saracen had a pretty major update, and you open up the app, you can tell the difference in the feel and the ease of the app immediately.
Yeah, it took a little bit longer. It was kind of funny. Usually our updates, we start about 2 o'clock in the morning, and we try to have them done by 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning at the latest. This one was quite significant. It was a huge software update, which gave us a lot more capabilities. The one that people are really recognizing the first is the bet slip that pops up out of the bottom. So it's easier to make your singles bets and your in-game betting. And then when you make a parlay, instead of having to decide, flip a switch, is this SGP or same game parlay available? As you make your selections, if it can be same game parlayed, it automatically puts it in that menu for you. And if it's not, if it only qualifies for a regular play, it will put those combinations and build them for you, so you don't have to keep putting stuff in and out of your betting ticket to decide which you're able to bet. It does it right there for you, and we've got a huge reception over that also. And there's a lot more features tied with this upgrade that we're going to be rolling out as we go. And it took us a little longer. We didn't get the app back up until like 5 minutes before the baseball game. We took a little heat for that, but boy, once we downloaded it and people downloaded it and started using it, they forgave us pretty quick. So I guess it was okay.
Well, there's a couple of stories out there that people. Well, one of them, I guess, is just hearsay, potentially from
Yeah.
a former Vanderbilt quarterback, Mo Hassan, who I think also played at Southern Cal. He said he was offered $300,000 to try to throw a game by the quote Italian mob unquote.
Yeah, when he went to go get a drink at a bar. So, that's an unusual story. But I think he was the backup quarterback and took 17 throws the entire year or the entire season. That's interesting, but they will follow that. Now, with sports betting that we've got U.S. integrity, and if the athlete, and it's all over the athletic departments, if the athlete ever is approached that, of course, they can tell their athletic department or the coach and all of that, but they have a way of doing it anonymously. And U.S. Integrity has something called Athlete Alert, which is powered by Real Response. Basically, is you can scan a barcode on a website, or you can do an anonymous text. If you're an athlete or an athletic department, you can do a 100% anonymous tip if anybody approaches you as an athlete to do anything, whether you're a pro athlete, a college athlete, or whatever, and you can do that anonymously. There's the resources out there. That one right there's, I know it's hearsay, but it'd be interesting to see if anything comes to that. But a lot of people are shooting that one down already.
Well, and then there's another story about, I guess they've shut down any betting lines on Temple basketball, and Loyola, Maryland, also involved in something with the Maryland Lottery and Gaming Control Agency.
Right.
But, I mean, so there's the details of these stories and all of that, but there's also the idea of just like what you're talking about, and we got into this with the Alabama baseball betting scandal, is
right.
The system is working, because these games are being flagged, and you can't put money on these teams if there's any question that there's something that's not right that's going on. So, I mean, the whole point of this is, yeah, I mean, you kind of expect that these things might happen, but you got a system in place to try to shut down the real problems.
Absolutely. And that's why it is very, very important that, we've had a huge expansion of sports betting throughout the state, throughout the state. But what I like to tell people is that sports betting is not new. Just legalized sports betting is what is new in all of these states. And now that we have it, out and transparent and out in the open, we're able to collect the data. We're able to use the technologies that we have to be able to identify this. I don't think the expansion of gaming is causing, more scandals. It's just that we have technology and ways to find it now. And some people are saying, hey, maybe we ought to stop doing player props on college. I know the NCAA's done that, and a couple of states are taking a step back. But the flip side to that argument is that if you do not offer those college props, they're going to go to either the black market to do it, or go back to their to the regular bookie to do that. And then if something's going on, you have no way to track it. Have no way of identifying it. So that's the best thing that I like to tell people out there, is that the integrity of the games are very, very important to the sportsbook, because we operate on very, very, very thin margins, especially against the spread and on the money line and the over and unders. And if there's any information out there that skews a game one way or to another and gives somebody an advantage, that can really, really hurt us. But the biggest thing is that with things like ProEbet, which allows us to identify people who are not supposed to be wagering because they're associated with the league or a sports team, and how we are able to correlate and track all of the betting and see if there's anomalies. I mean, we got alerts as soon as that thing moved, and we kept the market open and let it flow. We didn't have a problem in Arkansas. We took all of $110 in bets on that one game that was in question. So, nothing's really, really happening here. But if a line does move like that and bets come in, boy, people are looking at it, and the computer logarithms are able to identify. And they're even able to determine, hey, did that line move because an injury announcement came out? Hey, that is normal. But on this particular one, there was no announcement that came out, and the line just moved by itself. And that's always going to raise some flags there.
Neil, we'll just wrap up with something that's happening in about a month. If we got the NCAA basketball tournament coming up, well, it means the Masters can't be that far behind in the rest of the golf majors. You got all of them up here on futures bets. So, now with Bet Swap, this is, you want to get in on those sort of things. So if you want to trade or sell your bets, you can do it with some time, with some leeway.
Absolutely. You want to go ahead and do that. And you got the Players coming up this week, too. And that, famed 17th hole, that Island Green there, we'll put up some specials last year. We'll put up a few more here this year for that one, too. So we like to have fun with that one. And with golf coming on, and don't forget, soccer across the pond is getting kind of fired up right now, too. So, it's a great time of year. But, I got a feeling over the next 2 weeks, we're going to be real heavy on college baseball and basketball around here.
Well, I think I will as well, and so will we on halftime. Neil, appreciate you. We'll talk to you later on this week, okay?
All right. Good luck, everybody, and bet with your head not over it, and have fun with your game.
Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen. That's Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. NFL. Hey, right now they even have preseason NFL bets up right now, even before free agency. College football futures, NBA basketball, of course, the playoffs are not that far away. And you mentioned the NCAA basketball tournaments and the golf majors, Major League Baseball coming up soon. It's all on the Bet Saracen app. Works on your Apple iPhone. Just download it from the App Store or Google Play for your Android. You can always use any web browser, betsaracen.com. Get a hold of us here on the McCarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. We're back in just a moment.
You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now. Live coverage of the 2024 SEC Tournament in Nashville, Tennessee is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Elma, Arkansas. Family owned and operated and making your family dreams come true for over 70 years. Always online at crabtreerv.com. And by North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education. Dispose of your surplus prescription drugs with no questions asked. Join us for Take Back Day on Saturday, April 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Find a convenient collection site near you at www.deatakeback.com.
KC Insurance wants to remind everyone they are your local, trusted insurance agency for all your life and health insurance needs. They are located in the North Bell Shopping Center at 912 Highway 6265 North in Harrison. Feel free to drop by the office anytime, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. or call 870-517-1207 to schedule your appointment now. And don't forget, they are local people helping local people.
Hey, are you having a hard time dealing with high-interest credit card debt? It's normal, and a SoFi personal loan could help you save thousands by consolidating your DEBT to one low fixed monthly payment. You could get $5,000 to $100,000 as soon as the same day you sign, with no fees required. It only takes 60 seconds to view your rate, and it won't affect your credit score. View your rate at SoFi.com/paid-off. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions at SoFi.com/paid-off. NMLS 696891.
This is Halftime.
Got a pest? Call West. If you have pest or termite problems in your home, call West today and learn how their 50 years combined experience can help solve your problems with competitive pricing and quality services, all designed with your pets and children in mind. Call today and schedule your free estimate. They even offer Saturday services and long life attic pest control. Call 782-7291. West Termite and Pest Control, protecting your home health and peace of mind.
Need to lose 100 pounds this year? Don't restrict your diet. Forget joining a gym. Instead, lose the weight of that cheating spouse of yours. At Mock Legal Solutions, there is no hourly billing. You pay one flat fee for your divorce. Call today, 479-769-1505. And let's be honest, it's closer to 200 pounds, right? Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price. Love and marriage,
It's the third annual car show brought to you by McKenzie's Racing Supply. Bring your street rods, hot rods, and race cars from all area racetracks. Everyone is invited for a fun day of cars and music at McKenzie's Racing Supply, 1111 South 4th Street, Van Buren. Saturday, March 23rd from 11 to 1. Trophies will be awarded. Live music from the Jug Hill Annie Band. Sponsored by Scott Graham Performance Carburetors, Elite Plumbing and Drain Cleaning, American Towing, Phipps Chassis, and KR Promotions.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Herod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drugstore in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Oh, jelly. What you know about jelly? Are we talking toast and melons? Or Benji and Hines Ellie? Oh, jelly. Between the stars and Machiavelli. And if you wanna get creative, you could always look to nature. Oh, jellyfishes are really cool fishes.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
We haven't even come close. We've frustrated because we know that we get everybody healthy, trying to figure out who to play a little bit. You know, left field's kind of been up and down, and, you know, Lovich has done a nice job, and, you know, Jones has hit some home runs, and Edmondson's, he's had his moments too. Center field's been a little frustrating because it's really good defense, but not much offense, and we feel like there's more there. You know, we've won a lot of games, and we haven't played great. We played good. We pitched really good. We know the hitting's going to get better as we get more at-bats, and, you know, you guys just gain a little bit of confidence.
I think a lot of people will take what happened this last weekend at Boehm Walker Stadium with a grain of salt, just because it's a McNeese State pitching staff that is not an SEC team. But numbers are numbers, results are results. They hit .331 last week with 40 runs scored in 4 games. That sounds pretty good. A couple of run rule wins, 7 home runs. Just seeing better at-bats, too, from almost everybody. Vahiva Aloy getting much better at-bats, becoming much more selective, laying off that slider, even if it's a strike, because it's the pitch that the pitcher wants him to swing at. He's been laying off of that. Ben McLaughlin turned it on, had a great week, 8 base hits. Starting to see a little more crystallization to the 1 through 9 lineup, especially with Peyton Stovall coming back from the broken foot. Just surprised that he was in that lineup on Saturday in the doubleheader, but he was going to get out there on Sunday. He said, why don't you just go out there and play on Saturday and just be a DH? What better way to test a broken foot than by legging out an infield single in your first at-bat and seemed to be just fine. Hits a home run in the second game, and he looked great. But getting Stovall back at second base, not just as a hitter, as a fielder, I think will do wonders for this team, because when we think about Stovall as a hitter, he's a good second baseman, and there is a specific part of playing that position which right now Arkansas has not been very good at, and it's turning the double play. Peyton Holt, Jared Sprague-Lott, and Nolan Souza have gotten most of the time at second base. It's mostly been Souza of late and Holt earlier in the season, and a lot of games recently it's Nolan starting and Holt finishing off at second base. They've kind of struggled to turn the double play, which has been a hallmark of this program for a long, long time. 15 games, only 5 double plays turned. Now, some of that's also because you got a pitching staff that's striking out 15 batters a game, so there's fewer pitches put into play. But they're also struggling turning that double play, and the most important part of it is the turn of the double play. Souza's had some trouble with that. Dave thinks he's more of a shortstop or a third baseman. And I think Peyton Holt is probably a little bit more of a third baseman. I think he'll get a chance to play some outfield. Stovall's a second baseman, and a good one. He can turn that double play. It will do wonders for this team when Stovall is back playing second base, and he's going to help solidify the lineup. So Matt, has been years where at this time of the season, we're just worried because players are dropping and starting to get injured. Last year about this time was right about when Cody Frank went down for the rest of the season with a muscle injury. It was a month before that Jackson Wiggins went down for the entire season. At this point last year, it was fairly obvious to those who knew that Stovall's shoulder was really bothering him, and it was going to be a thing that hampered him at the plate and in the field. There's none of that going on right now. You're getting players back. You're getting Stovall back. He swung the bat great in these 3 games. They got Dylan Carter back from the Tommy John surgery, and he's throwing 94 to 96. And Ben Bybee, I think, will come back sometime soon from mononucleosis, but that takes a while to get your strength back. They're getting stronger right now at places where they probably need to be a little bit stronger. Bullpen's good. Another arm like Carter, that can only help. The fielding has been good, but it can be better. And getting Stovall back at second base, I think, is a huge step forward for that.
So left field, I guess you're saying there's kind of a battle there. I got a question for you. I like baseball players to be athletes and to be action stars. How many stolen bases do we have this year? Do we got any speed on the bases at all this year?
This is one of the crazy things about it. I'm glad you brought that up. I would have never thought that a Razorback baseball team would have more steals than home runs. They do right now. I don't know how long that'll last because they had 7 home runs in the last 4 games. The power's starting to pile up. 15 games, 16 home runs, 17 stolen
How many
bases.
of them were against Grambling, though, I guess, when they were throwing 48 miles?
I think was it 4 or 5?
Yeah, when they were.
They had a few. They had a few this weekend against McNeese.
Okay, all right.
They're guys that aren't missing their pitches now. Aloy is one of them. I mean, Matt, he had a home run Saturday on a ball that he was sitting on, 470 feet. I thought we're just short of 470 feet. He had another one Tuesday that went 450 feet. He's not swinging and missing as much. Like the whole narrative of he can't lay off a slider, he's getting himself into bad counts. That really wasn't the case this last week at all. He was much more selective.
When's the last time Arkansas has had a shortstop that could hit for power?
A lot of times you do. Like Battles hit for a little bit of power. Bolton last year wasn't really much of a hitter. Casey Martin hit for a lot of power in the year he played shortstop in 2019. But Aloy, I think, is a better shortstop than Casey. I think he was a little miscast as a shortstop. Just had trouble with some routine plays. But I think Aloy is also he's got a little bit of that Casey Martin in him. Well, all right. So here's a different way to put it. In 2019, we all remember Casey Martin flailing at sliders in the dirt, and he just couldn't lay off of it. So the same thing you saw with Brady Slavins the last couple of years on changeups. Even when I think he knew it might have been coming, he just couldn't lay off of it. What I saw the last 4 games from Vahiva Aloy was a batter who stuck to a plan. who wasn't going to swing at the slider until he had to, until there were 2 strikes, and he had to protect the plate in certain circumstances. I think he took a step forward last week, both in terms of production and in terms of approach. And I see some, there's some folks who want to wonder whether or not you got to take him out of the lineup. No. He's one of 3 guys who's played every game. I don't think he'll come out of the lineup at all. He's important there. I think he's the best shortstop on the team fielding wise. And certainly I think he can be a real difference maker at the plate. But Ben McLaughlin has also played all 15 games. McLaughlin's a guy that makes a difference, both in terms of production at the plate and in the field at first base. I think he saved 5 to 6 errors. And then Kendall Diggs has played every game because he's a linchpin in the lineup. So I think now there's a 4th player who won't come out of the lineup, and it's Peyton Stovall. I think we've sort of, lost in the conversation that the team is not hitting the ball as I think they expect, or like Dave expects, or like anybody expects, is that they didn't have potentially their best hitter in the middle of the lineup, or not even the middle of the lineup, because Stovall hit second a little bit more this last weekend, and I think they're comfortable hitting him second. So now I think you got a lineup that you kind of expected to go into the season with. Stovall can be a special hitter. I mean, a really special hitter. He can protect someone who's in front of him, and he's going to be on base for somebody behind him. I think this will give more RBI opportunities for Kendall Diggs, and that can only be a good thing. That can absolutely only be a good thing. Got Steve, who's on the McClarty Daniel hotline here. He's an Ozark. Steve, how you doing today? What's up?
I'm doing good, Phil. I just had a quick question about the pitchers. I was trying to figure out how they're getting their signs now. I don't see them have a wristband or anything on, but I see them, pushing the buttons on the catcher's knee. But I didn't know if they had like an earpiece or.
Yeah, there's an earpiece for the pitcher to wear. They've got the watch too. I talked with Hudson White about this. All the catchers call their own games, but they have the pad on their knee, and the pad, it's the same thing in the major leagues. It's the fielders that can wear the watch. I think the pitchers can wear it too if they want to, but there's a voice that says this is the pitch that you want to call. It's kind of fun to think. I think you can reprogram the thing so you can put anybody's voice in there. I'd like the idea of Dave Van Horn having a voice in there and be like,
no, you got to go like Biggie Smalls.
Ooh, even better.
Yeah.
But there's a problem with
James
that.
Earl Jones, maybe?
I don't think
you
can
can
get
hear
Biggie.
it.
Well, you can't get Biggie Smalls to record anything anymore. It's a good point. I forget about AI.
Yeah.
Love the idea of James Earl Jones, though.
Because you want. I guess it doesn't get too loud, but you want to hear the pronunciation, huh?
Well, if you can get Morgan Freeman to give you directions or read on your Amazon Alexa or whatever, then you can have James Earl Jones tell you throw a fastball. I'm not even going to try. I can't do a good James Earl Jones. It won't work. Moonlight Graham.
You made me laugh though, so there we go.
Moonlight Graham. Did I answer your question, Steve, or did I just veer off into goofiness there?
No, that was perfect. I was just kept trying to figure it out because I just never seen them really look up, and I've been looking for earpieces, but I haven't really noticed one. I thought I seen one the other day, but that's what I was kind of thinking. That answered my question. I appreciate it.
Yeah, they've got it, and he also told me that the earpiece and the way that they're delivering, and I can't even say signs anymore. I'm so trained in my mind to think, well, he takes the sign. It's not a sign. It's a voice. he's being told what to throw. It works perfectly in tandem with the pitch timer. I mean, think of how many times you saw a pitcher there that might have struggled to see the catcher's fingers. I mean, there's a reason why catchers would paint their fingernails for night games, because their fingers would get lost in the crotch. Not like that. You guys are gross. I mean, because you couldn't see because of the lights. But now you don't have to worry about that anymore. The pitch com works perfectly with the pitch timer. And you'll note, like I don't know how many games I've called this year, but there's been 15 games. I think there might have been one pitch timer violation this year. By this time last year, there were probably double digit. The pitch com works perfectly in tandem with the pitch timer. And the other thing about catchers at Arkansas, they call their own game. Matt, you realize how different that is from like every other college baseball program? The head coach or the pitching coach calls the game, calls each pitch. At Arkansas, it's the catchers that call the pitch. They learn what they're doing. They develop and I think they like playing here because of that.
How that's very uncommon is what you're saying?
It's completely uncommon in college baseball. Totally uncommon. That's why he had a Louisville pitcher shouting at his pitching coach 2 weeks ago coming off the field telling him, hey, I got 4 pitches, because he only called one of them over and over and over again. He also used a very special word in between I've got 4 pitches that you can't say unless you're standing in a closet screaming it out loud. Stay with halftime. We'll wrap up hour number 2 in just a moment.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
This year, upgrade your home to safe, convenient, and energy-efficient natural gas from Arkansas Oklahoma Gas. Skip the prepayments and delivery issues, and enjoy the peace of mind knowing that your natural gas is always there when you need it. And we can help make converting your home easy and affordable too. For heating, hot water, cooking, and more, it's time to upgrade to safe, reliable, and energy-efficient natural gas. Visit AOGC.com to learn more. AOG, energy for life.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PBS-STORE or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westart Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westart Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drain, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh-made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Do you need an oil change but don't have time to drop off your car? S&J Express Lube will let you sit in your car while they do the work, and it only takes about 15 minutes with no appointment needed. Prices start at $35.99 for a 20-point inspection service. S&J Express Lube is open Monday through Friday 9 till 6 and Saturdays 8 till noon. You'll find them at 14818 Highway 71 South in Jenny Lind. Check them out on Facebook too. S&J Express Lube, your authorized Castrol dealer in Sebastian County. They are waiting on you now.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I had 15 people telling me don't move. I got more than on my mind. I found shelter. It's some tossed spinning wheels around. I said 39 times and I left you to the beauty I have found. Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, take the elevator and the book tell you about the glad to see you later. All I got inside is vacancy. Yeah. I've been thinking of a little place down by the lake. They got a dirty old road leading up to the house. I wonder how long it will take till we're alone. Sitting on the front porch of that home, stomping our feet on wooden boards. Never gotta worry about locking the door. Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Take the elevator at the hotel. You'll buy the glad to see you later. All I got inside is vacancy.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Back on halftime here as we wrap up hour number 2 on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. We've talked some basketball. We got into the football. We got into the big brawl in the SEC Women's Championship game. We got into baseball sweeping McNeese, being number 1. It's on the tip of your mouth here, Matt.
Man, the Oscars were last night.
I didn't get a chance to watch any of it.
I didn't either. Used to, man, I would see more of these movies. Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer. I didn't watch any of those this year. I think Robert Downey Jr. won his first Oscar. I'll watch anything he's in.
I'll be happy for him with that.
I even went to see him in Dr. Dolittle at the theater, and it was the worst movie I'd ever seen, ever. But it was like, yeah, you just go to the movie theater, and you're like, yeah, we'll just pick a movie when we get there. And we're like, well, there's Downey's in that one. Oh my goodness.
Well, now you got 10 nominees. So let's say I saw Oppenheimer. I didn't make it through Killers of the Flower Moon. It's too long. I mean, you could turn it into like a miniseries if you want, but I give up on shows. I gave up on that. I mean, it was all right. I still want to see The Holdovers. That one looked really entertaining. I haven't watched that one yet. Still haven't gotten to Barbie or American Fiction or Past Lives or Maestro. I'm spending too much time worrying about sports radio.
I like Carey Mulligan. I'd watch Maestro.
I thought Oppenheimer was really good. I mean, but I would be the person that would sit there watching the Oscars and be like, yeah, Oppenheimer.
Is it factual?
It's the only one I watched.
Did they do it right? Did they do it kind of factual with the events, or how much liberty did they take?
I think it was factual.
Yeah, they tried to make it okay. Yeah.
I don't really know. But, I'm just also not into the award shows very much. And maybe some of that is because I don't see everything now. Like, I don't watch the Emmys because I don't watch too much TV. I don't watch the ESPYs because I don't get it. I don't need to watch that. The Grammys, I barely know any of the acts that are up. This is just evidence that I'm getting older and older and older. You know what I did start, though? And I am entertained by this because Cillian Murphy is in it. Peaky Blinders. Did you get a chance to watch Peaky Blinders? That's good. I'm 5 episodes in. I think I'll make it through all 6 seasons.
Never seen a single second. What'd you say? It was Irish Mob?
Irish Mob. You got to have the subtitles on. Because I tried watching it like 3 years ago, and I was going to be really stubborn about the subtitles. Be like, no, I don't need subtitles. I can hear what's going on here. No, I need the subtitles for this thing. Otherwise, I don't think I'll be able to figure out about a third of what it is they're saying. But Cillian, I might watch anything that Cillian Murphy's in. He's terrific.
I think he's close to 50. I saw because they were. I'll watch some Fallon, and you'll see the guys make the circuit. And he was with Downey, and then who was the girl from Looper? Emily Blunt.
That's when
Emily Blunt was with them. So all 3 of them, they're promoting. Now, if you said their show.
If you said the girl from Devil Wears Prada,
there you go.
Had a sense.
Yeah. Now that was a good one. I like that one.
So are we through with award season now? I don't think there's any more. We've had the Emmys, we've had the Grammys, there's been the Golden Globes. Now you have the Oscars. I think the Tonys already have happened. AMAs. Is the Video Music Award still a thing?
Well. When the baseball awards, when do they come out?
Probably not until the baseball season's over.
Don't they always come out like 6 weeks after the season's over though? Like they come out in a weird time. It's like
they come out in November. Like the NFL's got it figured out, man. They're coming out with the postseason awards during the postseason.
Right?
So baseball waits until the World Series is over.
That's the time to do it, is during the postseason.
NFL's got the whole offseason thing figured out so well. They just go from one thing right to the next. We already had the Super Bowl takes you right into talk about the combine, right into free agency talk, right into the draft, right into mini camps, then the summer, and then the next thing you know, everybody's reporting and you're ready
Spring
for the
ball,
season.
yeah.
That's right. Well, we're ready for hour number 3 of halftime in a moment. Calls and texts come in at 877-377-6963. That's the McClarty Daniel hotline. You'll find a great deal at any of McClarty Daniel's 6 locations in Springdale or Bentonville, and anytime online at McClartyDaniel.com. Halftime back in just a moment.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. So sign up now for Pascal's Planned Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
Do you need an oil change but don't have time to drop off your car? S&J Express Lube will let you sit in your car while they do the work, and it only takes about 15 minutes with no appointment needed. Prices start at $35.99 for a 20-point inspection service. S&J Express Lube is open Monday through Friday 9 till 6 and Saturdays 8 till noon. You'll find them at 14818 Highway 71 South in Jenny Lind. Check them out on Facebook too. S&J Express Lube, your authorized Castrol dealer in Sebastian County. They are waiting on you now.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, beautiful sunshine. Our high temperatures today will be right around 65 degrees. Tonight, mainly clear. Overnight lows will drop down low to mid-40s. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine. Our high right around 70. And then more sunshine Wednesday. Our high will be in the low to mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
2 seconds, 1 second, he lets fly with a shot.
From the Busch Light Studios, this is ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
What's able one Razorback?
Second half, very happy.
And vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
And we welcome you back into halftime for the third hour on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson, my partner Matt Jones, the C Unit, Christian Johnston is producing. A little disappointed. Didn't listen to the Doors over the weekend. Watched the movie, but hey, that's one of the things about music. It doesn't take that much effort. All you got to do is throw it on in the car, and you'll be set. We'll figure out something else for him later on this weekend. But I'm thinking a little bit like Pink Floyd and Dark Side of the Moon for our friend Matt. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I like Pink Floyd.
Do we have to do it with a laser show? Do we need to go with a laser show for him? Because I've seen Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon in a laser show like maybe 58 times.
How cool. Yeah, no, Pink Floyd, I celebrate their entire catalog. They're fun.
They're lots of fun.
The Doors are fun too, though. I like the Doors better than Pink Floyd. So yeah, come on, see music. You gotta
too much baseball going on.
There you go.
Weekend.
There you
I had
go.
to listen to the
Fair
baseball
enough.
game.
I'm glad you watched the movie, though. I'm glad you that's Oliver Stone at his finest.
See what I did there, Phil?
He had to listen to every baseball game. He was literally sitting there on edge, listening to every single word that Bubba and I said, instead of listening to the Doors. Well, that's true. You can't listen to two things at once. It doesn't work very well. So you remember? No, I won't ask you like multiple guess on what we said this and there. We had fun on Saturday. 7.5 hour broadcast for a doubleheader, and had a blast doing it too. People are like, how do you do? What is like? Are you all right after you do? It's like, I'm born for this, man. Bring it, bring it. I've been watching. I watched 5 straight losses by the women's basketball team. So you know, I'm ready. I'm ready to do some baseball after that.
It's true. It's always nice to win too. It's yes.
Well, I think that makes it a little easier as well. You know, what would it be like? I wonder what it would have been like if Bubba was with me for the 2016 season, where they lost their, I think it was last 13 games, didn't even make the conference tournament, finished dead last in the league, and it was just a bummer. I don't know. Bubba and I get along so well. But some of it has to just be because there's good feelings around because the team usually plays so well. He might have actually done something vicious with that bat if he was around for 2016. Did you ever do? So there is this thing. If you do the Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon, there is a thing about Wizard of Oz. You heard about this, Matt?
I've heard about it. I've never partaked.
The idea
partook.
Is you start the album. I think you start the album when the lion roars.
Yeah.
Not the cowardly lion, but the lion in the MGM circle before the movie
mascot.
starts.
Yeah.
You try to start the album when that lion roars, and then it's supposed to be like the movie and the music go together. So I tried it once. I'm not sure if it felt like it worked, but it might not have been because of the movie and the music that it didn't work.
And I thought when it was first done, it was set to it. You had to have the record player the way you did it, and so the timing might be a little off too. You know, I think it was when it was set. It was you got to have the vinyl.
That's exactly what it was. We got Dutch and Fort Smith here on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Let's take Dutch's phone call.
Hey.
Check out some other. What's up, Dutch? How are you?
Doing well, thanks. How about you guys?
Great, thank you.
I was just at a Razorback Club men's, well, usually all men, luncheon. And, Matt, we talked about your comment from last week about not getting horse collared.
Oh, yeah?
Do you remember your comment, Matt?
We were talking about...
I'd asked it. Am I right about this, Dutch? I think I asked you if you've ever been horse collared. You just said no one was ever fast enough to do that.
Yeah.
I was just being funny.
Yeah, we were discussing the speed because the walk-on kid from Northside there, Katsavis.
Is he pretty fast? What's he run? What's he got? What's he been timed?
Well, I don't know. I should have asked. His uncle was there with us, but they said no. He's already on third string and getting lots of reps. But he left the A-State to go there and walk on. So hopefully he's got
good
future.
luck. Heck yeah.
What's the
going? Peaky Blinders. We were discussing. Yeah. We were discussing that as well, and it's pretty much consensus. It's better than Yellowstone, better than Ozark.
Now I've seen every episode of Ozark. I liked Ozark. Jason Bateman's he's okay.
I needed the subtitles for some of Ozark too.
It did get a little out there. You're like, come on now, but it was all right.
Well, I strongly encourage you to watch Peaky Blinders, Matt. I'm about to watch
Okay.
it for
All
the
right.
third
I'll have
time.
to. I'll check it out.
The text line has blown up with that exact sentiment.
I'll try to get to it sometime before baseball season's over.
All right, everybody. If he had a choice and he had to watch one or the other, and he couldn't watch both because you haven't watched The Sopranos yet either, right? Sopranos.
I haven't seen The Wire or Sopranos. Not a single second.
Whew. The Wire, Sopranos, or Peaky Blinders. I would go with Sopranos, Dutch. If I had to watch one of those three, it'd be Sopranos. How about you? He hung up. Oh, he's there. Going once, twice, gone. I don't know if he realized I was asking him a question.
Seen every episode of Breaking Bad. Have you seen?
Love
is that
that
up
show.
there? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I would put that on that same conversation. If you had to pick one of them, which one would it be? Sasquatch says The Wire over The Sopranos. And here's Big Mike listened to almost every 2016 Razorback baseball game. That was a tough season to call. But I'll tell you, Mike, that reminded me of like more than half of the minor league baseball seasons I worked where there was no hope. You just showed up knowing you were going to lose and just wondering how it was going to happen. But those were 140 game seasons instead of 56. So, man, by the time you got into July, it was like, what are we doing here? But I appreciate you listening to every one of those games because it really wasn't all that fun to do it. Sopranos, The Wire over The Sopranos, either one of those two I think would work for you. Free agency is going to kick off on Wednesday, Matt. I guess they're calling it the legal tampering period for
frenzy.
free agents.
Yeah.
It is a frenzy because there's all sorts of signings that I guess you can't necessarily like announce them yet, but you can at least have a source that says this is going to happen. Christian Wilkins, defensive tackle, going to sign 4-year contract with the Raiders. Titans are signing Tony Pollard to a 3-year deal worth $24 million.
Who's their other? You said something about that. Who's their other back? Because is Derrick Henry going to walk, but he hasn't signed with anybody yet?
Yeah,
Did they sign him to be a complimentary?
I don't think they've signed anybody.
I don't think they expect him back.
I like Pollard. He's okay,
Pollard,
but
yeah.
he needs somebody else. He needs to be in a 2-back system.
Yeah, he's too much of like a finesse running back. I mean, that there is a place for that. I mean, he's explosive, but it just doesn't. I mean, if he's not breaking out long runs, he kind of goes stagnant.
I guess it's also trade requesting season. T. Higgins wants a trade from the Cincinnati Bengals. The Broncos traded Jerry Jeudy to the Cleveland Browns.
Broncos are cleaning house, huh?
Well, it's like they are cleaning house. You're right. New quarterback, new top receiver, though I'm not sure Jeudy, necessarily worked out the way that they hoped.
Who's going to be the quarterback for Cleveland? They got better when Watson got out. I mean, Joe's going back to the couch, huh?
They're paying him too much.
Deshaun's going to be the guy.
Too much to not play. Yeah, I don't know if they have a choice. Flacco played so much better than he did in the regular season. But I guess Flacco, does he go back to the couch, or if you're him? How do you handle something like this? Because he didn't just play well. He won them some games heading to the postseason. So you just sit around and wait, or do you do what you did last year? Do you sign in free agency now or in a couple of months, or do you wait until it's obvious that a team has to have a quarterback, and then you can sign, you're going to go play?
It seems like he's kind of like a Drew Bledsoe almost at the end of his career. He doesn't want to go somewhere and be a backup. Like he'll come in and he'll do it if he's going to start, But if I don't think he wants to go through the motions, or because he doesn't want to go through the grind of a whole season to not play.
Yeah. Well, at this point in your career, I mean, you kind of have that luxury in some cases. You're a known quantity, if you're 23 or 24, and you're a free agent, something wrong happened. If you're in your late 20s. I think you still got to show that you're healthy. I think Flacco showed that last year. So it'd be interesting to see what he does with this. More text coming in. Sopranos. And Jason likes Peaky Blinders because they get really good. Yeah, they have really good music on that. It's like heavy metal or hard rock circa 80s, 90s into the 2000s with scenes that are taking place essentially after World War I, the late 19 teens or the early 1920s, and I like that contrast. It is a fun show. It is a really fun show. Connor O'Gara is lots of fun. He'll be talking with us in just a moment. St. Patrick's Day is coming up really soon. We love St. Patrick's Day. Celebrate St. Patrick's Day all week with Irish whiskey, Guinness beer, and scenic views at Twin Peaks and Rogers. It's all week long, starting today through the end of the week. They're featuring a lingerie costume party and drink specials with some of their favorite festive shots, cocktails, and more. Plus, championship week for college basketball, so they'll have college basketball on the TV pretty much all day long at Twin Peaks and Rogers. Your sports headquarters featuring 29-degree draft beer made from scratch fan favorites and sports blasting from every angle. You can have the ultimate game day experience in Twin Peaks' restaurant in Rogers, or go online to twinpeaksrestaurant.com. You can order to-go or delivery. That's more TVs, bigger screens, and scenic views. More to watch at Twin Peaks. Connor O'Gara in just a moment.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile device. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team. And remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
Advice there, and she did a little bit too much information in a conversation with someone they're trying to impress. It doesn't work. You don't want to tell everybody everything, do you? Connor O'Gara's got a lot to tell us, though, from Saturday Down South about college football. We appreciate his time on a Monday. Hey, Connor, how are you?
Gentlemen, doing really well. Can't say that I got into the Billy Joel catalog as a kid. My parents were not the biggest on Billy Joel, so I'm not very well-versed in, but I mean, I know the hits, but I cannot say that is my area of expertise.
Well, I celebrate his entire catalog, Connor, so if you ever need a little help with that, I'm here for you. That song comes from the album An Innocent Man. It is Billy Joel's salute to 1950s doo-wop music and stuff like that. It's really good. It's a banger, 1 through, I think, 9 songs, so I'd recommend it for you.
All right, I'm going to add that one to the list. It's a long list. Haven't necessarily had a whole lot of time to dig into my alternate music taste lately, but you know, I'm gonna add it. If you say Billy Joel is good, Phil, I'm taking your word for it.
If you say Billy Joel is alternate, I'll take your word for that too. You're obviously into spring football right now, so we got our spring games coming up in like a month or so. So you know, we have more access now. Alabama's given more access to media. Sam Pittman's given more access to media. I don't know about the other situations around the SEC. Maybe some are following suit. But in some cases, you don't necessarily just have to take the coach's word for it and a soundbite, because there's more media inside there now. So, I think that's a step forward. What have you thought about, in Alabama's case, opening up practice and to be able to talk to the assistants more?
What a crazy concept. I was of the belief that if media ever got access to college practices, that we were going to provide play-by-play analysis for every other team in college football of what those teams were about to do. We were going to release all of their secrets. We were going to share them to the world, and then they would therefore fail as a direct result of having media access. It is pretty crazy thinking about how different the NFL and college are when it comes to that, but seeing a place like Alabama actually have an open practice for media and having coordinators available to talk, like, these are different times that we're living in. I'm old enough to remember when I covered Nebraska, when you could talk to coordinators after a game. Like, they were part of this media scrum, and you could talk to coordinators about play calls after a game. And that's at Nebraska, a place that's super, super prideful. I don't know if they've gotten away from that, but gosh, I mean, some of these things that we're talking about here, it's a reminder that there is no paranoia like the paranoia of a college football coach. So it's nice to see some of these programs realizing that they don't have to exist in that bubble to be able to succeed.
Hey, Connor, I want to ask you a question about the draft. Is that running back from Michigan? Is he going to get drafted? Who's a couple of running backs that are moving up the draft boards?
Yeah, Blake Corum's a stud. I mean, he's an absolute stud, and I don't know what exactly his NFL future is going to be, because it feels like this running back class doesn't really have the top-end Bijan Robinson guy to begin with. Once upon a time, I was telling myself, maybe Rocket Sanders could be that guy in this class, and then obviously it just was a lost season for him. But I feel like that's kind of the case as we talk about running backs to begin with, and there are so few that get that rare distinction. But Blake Corum, man, like, I don't know what more you need to see from that guy to believe that he just kind of gets it. He and Cody Schrader both. I don't know if they're going to be drafted before the third round or anything like that, but you just know what you're going to get with them from the jump. You know that the mindset is never going to be in question. You know that they're going to be the ultimate guy to kind of have in your locker room. And I think that if you look at this running back class and try and find that late round value, which is what everybody tries to do, I'd be going after two guys like that. And I realize they got some miles on those legs, but man, Blake Corum, I think there are a lot of Alabama fans going, gosh, if we could have only found a way to stop that guy down the stretch, this could have been a much different ending for us.
You know, as you're getting into some of with the Mac Jones trade, you're looking back at that 2021 draft for quarterbacks, and there's only one starter left out of them, and that's Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I'm assuming Justin Fields, wherever he goes, may have to compete for playing time, but we don't even know where he's going to go. For this year's draft, I don't know if I hear a lot about Spencer Rattler. There's a lot about, you know, the names that you know about: Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Caleb Williams, Michael Penix. McCarthy's moved up the boards. Spencer Rattler didn't necessarily win a ton of games, but there are moments he looked like a pro quarterback. I think he could be. I think he could have success in the NFL.
I got something that Arkansas fans aren't going to want to hear, but I got to say it. Arkansas would have been so much better off with Dow Loggins as their OC as opposed to Dan Enos. And I'm not breaking news by saying it, but it's a reminder that that was a really nice hire for Shane Beamer. And I know the final record doesn't necessarily show a team that got better offensively, but if you watched South Carolina and you saw the improvement from year to year with Spencer Rattler, it was so noticeable. And the job that Dow Loggins did developing him, it makes me feel a lot more confident about their quarterback situation, despite the fact that it's really unproven with Lenora Sellers and Robbie Ashford coming in from Auburn. But, man, they had so many limitations, like Arkansas, just a terrible offensive line that you couldn't really do much of anything with, and it's kind of hard to scheme when your offensive line's a train wreck. Juice Wells was out pretty much for the entire year. He was expected to be their best offensive player. But the job that Dow Loggins did developing Spencer Rattler, you're right, it was super undernoticed. I think he's going to end up being a mid-round pick. He was the Shrine Bowl MVP. This is a guy who played better than Bo Nix. Or not the Shrine Bowl, the Senior Bowl, rather. He played better than him, and it just kind of showed a lot of people, this is a guy where if you miss out on that first or second tier of quarterback in the draft, I think somebody's going to get Spencer Rattler in the mid-rounds and be like, wow, this guy actually might have a chance to eventually be our starting quarterback one day.
Hey, how many of these Michigan Wolverines are going to go in the first round? I know they're talking about setting some type of record or having 18, 19 guys drafted, but realistically, who are the guys that are going to go in the first round?
I mean, that's a good question, because I think McCarthy does end up going in the first round. Who knows if a Roman Wilson will? I don't think Corum will. And they have a defensive guy or two that will. I don't think it's so much about the first round number. They might only have 3 first rounders, but the depth is just the thing that you're looking at going, oh my goodness, that's crazy. And Jim Harbaugh has been talking about it for a long time, and I kind of scoffed at him when he said that he thought Michigan was going to break Georgia's record for most players selected in the modern draft era record. Georgia had 15 in the 2022 draft. This is only counting, the draft since it went to 7 rounds in 1994. But I think Michigan's going to break that record. And I'll take it a step further. I think the Big Ten is going to actually have more guys drafted than the SEC. As crazy as that is, because it's 17 consecutive years of the SEC winning that title, I think Michigan fuels that. I really do. And I think that it's the last year that we can really talk about this, because the Big Ten is going to have 18 teams next year. The SEC is only going to have 16. It's all over the place, but the Big Ten having the most teams kind of makes it a little bit unfair. But Michigan's going to be such a big part of that, and you're going to look at this class going, wow, okay, I get why they won a national championship and why they were able to beat Alabama en route to doing that.
I'm interested to see what Jim Harbaugh does in the draft. How many Michigan guys he takes as well.
if Jim Harbaugh doesn't draft Brock Bowers at 5, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be really upset because, like their use of the tight end, it just kind of makes a lot of sense. And with him coming off the year that he did, where he finally showed that he was a human being and he could actually get injured, I still think that he finished his career as the best tight end that we've ever had in college football. And if that guy is sitting there in the middle of the first round and not taken at that 5th spot by Harbaugh, or taken at 9 by my Chicago Bears, I'm going to be really, really upset. So I do find myself hoping that Harbaugh just gives me that little bit of satisfaction knowing that somebody that good should be drafted that high. But I don't know. That's a good question. Like, how awkward does that become? Like, you're obviously not going to go out and get a J.J. McCarthy when you have a Justin Herbert. But yeah, every time Harbaugh takes the Michigan guy, it's going to be like, oh, geez, wonder where exactly he got the intel on that guy.
Connor's got a column that appears in Saturday Down South from 3 days ago titled "The Realistic Path for 2024 to Not Be Sam Pittman's Last Season at Arkansas." Connor, you can explain. Go ahead.
Yeah, look, I think there are 4 coaches in the SEC, Pittman being one of them, that are just kind of in a really difficult spot, an uphill climb wherein their jobs could be very much on the line, and it's very well known that their jobs are very much on the line. But I do think that there is a world in which you can go 7-5 if you're Arkansas with the way that the schedule shakes out, how home-friendly it is, and you can still see Sam Pittman getting a year 6. Now, that'll be easier said than done. I don't think that's a guarantee. But the way that I kind of mapped it out, I was like, all right, you got to get to that first bye week at 3-3. Remember, there are 2 bye weeks this year. And that means winning one of the following games: at Oklahoma, at Auburn, against A&M in Arlington, or home against Tennessee. You have to win one of those. I'm not saying you got to win multiple or anything like that. But if you can win one of those games, which I think the 2 more realistic ones, I think home against A&M, or not home against A&M, but in Arlington against the Aggies, year 1, Mike Elko, is realistic. And then at Auburn, a team that's been herky-jerky all over the place so far with Hugh Freeze, I think that's realistic. And then you just need that home upset. That's the biggest thing. Like, think about this, guys. I was going back to the last time that Arkansas won a game at home against a Power 5 team where temperatures were above freezing. So that rules out the Ole Miss game at the end of 2022. You have to go back to that South Carolina game early in the 2022 season to find that example. That Power 5 team that Arkansas beat at home and temperatures were above freezing. Arkansas fans deserve better. They deserve better, and if the optics are really bad down the stretch and if they don't pull off one of those home upsets, then obviously, it's going to be a really difficult road for Sam Pittman to be able to get a year 6.
I mean, you had a group of 5 loss at home during that time, too, to Liberty. And
he, Phil, to Connor's point, Sam Pittman usually does win one road conference game. I mean, he beat Florida. Even last year, they beat Florida.
Right.
Yeah, like the home upsets, you got home against Tennessee, home against LSU, home against Ole Miss, home against Texas. You have to get one. You have to get one of those games, because I think that so much of this is going to be about optics. And as much as Hunter Yurachek is going to go to bat for Sam Pittman, I mean, that's why he's back. Another AD probably would have moved on because of how bad the optics were. I think that's such a big part of this conversation. And I do find myself optimistic that Bobby Petrino is the right guy to be able to turn around the offense, because I think he was better than people realize at A&M. And even once you sift through all of the history associated with that, you realize this guy still is a really good offensive mind and an upgrade over Danny. Not saying much, but still. And then, being able to give those home fans something that's worth cheering about is such a big part of Sam Pittman's future. And I think it's something that we'll be talking about a lot this season.
Looking forward to doing it again in a couple of weeks, Connor. Always appreciate your time. It's great work at Saturday Down South, and we'll be reading, okay?
Gentlemen, appreciate it.
Thanks, Connor.
Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South, with every couple of Mondays on Halftime. All right, we're in the home stretch here, so we can open up that McClarty Daniel hotline for you right now. Calls and texts come in at 877-377-6963. Looks like everybody really wants you to watch Peaky Blinders and Sopranos right now, Matt. And Dutch, he's even going to bump. He says he hasn't seen The Wire. He's going to bump that to the front of his line. Those are pretty much 3 shows that we got to get on. Meanwhile, we're into that home stretch and halftime back in a moment.
You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now. Live coverage of the 2024 SEC Tournament in Nashville, Tennessee is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas. Family owned and operated and making your family dreams come true for over 70 years. Always online at crabtreerv.com. And by North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education. Dispose of your surplus prescription drugs with no questions asked. Join us for Take Back Day on Saturday, April 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Find a convenient collection site near you at www.deatakeback.com.
Don't let the winter weather get you down. Elevate your spirits with the Burton Pools and Spas Beat the Winter Blues Hot Tub Sale. Save up to $5,000 on Hot Spring Hot Tubs, the world's best-selling brand. Spend time with your family in the new Serenity Series 6-person hot tub for only $74.99. Warm up and say goodbye to the winter blues with a hot tub from Burton Pools and Spas. Visit us in Springdale, Fort Smith, or at burtonpools.com. At Burton, we don't just sell hot tubs. We build long-term relationships.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. So sign up now for Pascal's Plan Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Z Road, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
If you're interested in continuing your involvement in high school athletics and want to make some extra money, what better way to do so than by becoming an official? For information on how you can give back to student athletes in Arkansas, please contact us at 501-955-2500. Again, that's 501-955-2500. The Arkansas Activities Association is looking for sports officials, and you may be the answer.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Can we put that one in as one of the weirdest, yet still one of the greatest covers ever produced? Beastie Boys and Biz Markie there, covering Benny and the Jets. Hey, he sounded a little bit like Jim Morrison, just sort of moaning through the lyrics at times.
The words she doesn't know, she just hums.
Right.
Tony Danza.
Right. Were there's also electric boots, or were they something else that was electric? I couldn't quite tell what he said.
Mohair suits.
Yeah, something a little bit wild like that. We have SEC basketball awards that have been announced.
No, we had two. A first teamer in Brazil, and Devo Davis was a second teamer for the preseason awards. I wonder how many they got right.
There isn't a single Razorback on any of the postseason teams for SEC men's basketball. Not on the first team, not on the second team, not on the defensive team, not on the freshman team. Now, that would seem to me to be something that stands out in Arkansas basketball history, to have nobody on any of the postseason lists at all. Lamont Paris of South Carolina is the coach of the year.
You like that one?
I do like that one.
I do too.
I do, because, I mean, he's going to put it up against what was expected of you. And I think Muss is also right. In the preseason polls, that doesn't really mean what they might have used to mean, because you just don't know if there's chemistry and everything. But he's obviously done a great job with the program that hasn't been in this position in a long time. Dalton Connect is the player of the year from Tennessee. It seemed to be a pretty easy choice too, Matt, especially of late with Tennessee playing as well as they're playing. Reed Shepard of Kentucky, freshman of the year. Rob Dillingham, Kentucky, sixth man of the year. Zakai Ziegler is the defensive player of the year. Mark Sears, Janai Broom, Zion Pullen, Antonio Reeves, Tolu Smith, Connect, Ziegler, and Wade Taylor are the first teamers. Jalen Williams, Walter Clayton, Dillingham, Shepard, Matthew Morrell, Josh Hubbard, Talon Cooper, Michi Johnson, and Jonas Adu of Tennessee are the second teamers.
2 teams of 8. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Why don't they do the 3 teams of 5 and do a first, second, and third?
You're asking legitimate questions that don't have an answer.
Yeah.
You're right about that. And I don't even know if they do it in terms of positions. Where you would have, used to in an All-NBA, it was 2 guards, a center, and 2 forwards.
Well, Broom's
do that.
Yeah, Broom's the big. He's a nice piece. Sears is a nice college guard. I don't know if he's big enough, and what does he do elite? Can he shoot it good enough at the next level? He's kind of a little guy, but I like him. He's a nice college piece.
You think Bama might have a chance to go very far at all in March Madness?
Bama's a joke.
Yeah.
They're bad. That basketball program's a joke.
Tennessee and Kentucky right now look like they've got the chance to go the farthest.
Kentucky has the athletes. Auburn's depth as well. You got it, and Kentucky's athletic at the guard position, and they always have a big that's athletic, but they got athletes all over that floor.
So, what sort of importance are you putting on the SEC tournament here? Is there anybody that's going to play themselves into the tournament by what they do here outside of winning the conference championship?
I think A&M and LSU need to have strong showings if they want to go in, because I think Tennessee, South Carolina, Auburn, Kentucky, Alabama, Florida. I think I think those are locks no matter what happens. I think A&M and LSU, they have some athletes and a little bit of talent. They're not going to make any noise. I mean, could one of them get hot on the right side of the bracket, where they're playing a Mountain Valley West team or something and make it to the yeah, but they're not really that good this year.
You still, no, I mean, if you're Tennessee, you're kind of playing potentially for the number one seed in this SEC tournament. There's no guarantee that they are, that North Carolina is, or that Arizona gets that fourth number one seed. So that does kind of throw a little bit of extra importance for the SEC tournament for Tennessee. Because if they don't make it to the championship game, I don't think they get that number one seed.
Their run, the way they finish the season, Phil, I pencil them in at lock. If unless somebody gets hurt or injured, Phil, I'd pencil them in right now. That's who I think is going to be. They're on their side of the bracket.
Well, losing to Kentucky is not a bad loss. The way that the Wildcats are playing right now. But yeah, you're right. I mean, you look at some of these wins: Auburn, Bama, South Carolina.
They did lose on the last game. That was a big win for Kentucky.
Huge win for Kentucky. Huge.
But they had it wrapped up. How much do you think? Because I was thinking a little bit about Florida. That's just a bad L. What do they have wrapped up? But the standings were already, the seeding was already kind of wrapped up. You kind of wonder about their motivation.
The seeding in the SEC tournament's wrapped up, but not in the NCAA tournament.
Oh, 100%.
They still got to take. I mean, the selection committee has to take all of these games into. And you know how I am about this. Like, it's the regular season where you're going to make your resume, and that is a 7th loss, albeit to a good team. Look, I mean, it's not like the kind of loss that should take you off the number one line. The problem is you got an ACC champion in North Carolina with one fewer loss than Tennessee.
And they just went and beat Duke on their home floor.
Right, and got water thrown at them as well.
I like that North Carolina team, Phil. That's a Final Four type. That's a real, how Coach kind of said, oh, Alabama's a Final Four team. No, North Carolina's that's a Final Four team.
And they were just sort of okay last year too, right? Like they were just kind of okay, and they're getting back to where you expect North Carolina basketball to be. As far as the SEC tournament is concerned, you got Vandy and Arkansas opening up the whole shebang, 6 o'clock Wednesday. We'll be talking with Chuck Barrett about all of that Wednesday because they're going to be in the air tomorrow. We would usually be talking to Chuck.
Arkansas wins, huh? After the embarrassing performance when they're going to redeem themselves, right? Because they totally Amber Hearded the bed when they played Vanderbilt. There's no excuse for Arkansas to lose to Vanderbilt. We're more talented, more athletic at every position. So I think they win. I think they win game 1.
Maybe you lose to Vanderbilt, I think you just shut the door on the NIT and close the season out.
Put the nail in the coffin?
That'll be it.
Yeah.
That would be it. A second loss to Vanderbilt would be it. Georgia and Mizzou, last chance for Missouri. I saw somebody was like, it's kind of funny the way they put it. Missouri is just a 10-game winning streak away from making it to their first ever Final Four.
0-18, man.
They've been
oh
won
my
since
goodness.
December, Matt. They have not won a game since 2023.
Oh, come on, Missouri.
Winner of that game gets Florida. Winner of Arkansas Vanderbilt gets South Carolina. Mississippi State and LSU, the winner of that game goes to play Tennessee. Winner of Ole Miss and A&M plays Kentucky. Tennessee's going to make it to the championship game. They're not going to lose to Mississippi State or LSU. I mean, they'd have to play potentially Auburn or South Carolina or, who knows, an incredibly red-hot Razorback team that finds a way to win 3 in a row to get into the semifinals on Saturday. Which should be fun. I mean, championship week's a heck of a lot of fun, especially when it comes to the smaller leagues. I mean, the one-bid leagues. I mean,
Arkansas State going for one. Your boy Darian Ford. Yeah.
Absolutely pulling for him today. I was bummed out Little Rock lost to Morehead State a couple of days ago.
Purdue, Houston, and who's the other lock that's going to be a number 1 seed already? UConn. So those are your 3. Does it really feel like there's only one other spot up for grabs?
Yes.
Those 3 are locked.
I think there's only one that's up for grabs. I mean, look, you got 3 teams with 3 losses. Everybody else that has a chance at maybe a number 1 seed either has 6 or 7 losses. So, I mean, you can look at a resume and everything like that. Fine. The record still tells me there's a big difference between 3 losses and 6 losses in college basketball, especially when you're a team like Houston in the Big 12 or UConn in the Big East or Purdue in the Big 10. I mean, those are good leagues. If Tennessee had 3 losses, they would probably be number 1 overall. Well, they have 7, so they got to fight in order to make the top line. So in that case, I think the SEC tournament means quite a bit to Tennessee. because I don't think you don't play your way into the NCAA tournament based upon 2 or 3 wins in the conference tournament. You can play your way in by winning the conference championship, but I think if you're fighting for the last number 1 overall seed, if all things are being equal here, if Tennessee wins the SEC tournament and North Carolina does not win the ACC tournament, Tennessee's in as the number 1 seed. If they both win, I don't know where you go then. I mean, you gotta parse your rankings. You gotta, get into the nitty-gritty of the resumes and strength of schedule and scoring margin and all that kind of stuff. But to me, if I was on that committee, it would be as simple as between these 2 teams, and you can even throw Arizona State in there. Or Arizona, not Arizona State, who won the conference tournament. At that point, it means something.
Yeah, you also like those, like you said, those smaller tournaments. You got the Southland Conference tourney, Phil. 10-22 New Orleans versus 18-13 Lamar. A team like 10-20, that's a team, they get in there. Now, do you think it's fair that if that team got in there, they would have to play in one of those play-in games?
I know, man. I don't like that either.
See,
I don't, because you get what is it? You get a couple of teams that win a conference championship and a couple that were the last 2 teams in. I don't like it. I think if you win a conference championship, you ought to be able to go.
I'm with you.
Right to that round of 64. Well, we're going to go right to the last segment of halftime in a moment. First, want to remind you about the Smithwick Original suspending Rattling Rogue. You've heard us talk about it here on ESPN Arkansas quite a bit when you're fishing for a trophy brown on the Mighty White, or you're looking for cold water bass on Beaver Lake or Table Rock. The Smithwick Original suspending Rattling Rogue is going to catch them for you because it has that famous rolling action, whether you fish it extremely slow or work it fast and heavy current. This Rogue suspends. It's in that strike zone longer, and you catch more fish. The Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue, available at learnet.com and tackle stores everywhere. We're back in a moment.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Jaeger's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Get these red-hot buys at any of our 4 locations. Ace 2-gallon home and garden sprayer, only $17.99 with your Ace Rewards card. Flour and vegetable seeds, 25 cents each. Save $20 to $60 on Milwaukee, Craftsman, and DeWalt power tools with your Ace Rewards card. And check out our huge selection of Big Green Egg, Traeger, and Blackstone grills at everyday low prices. Find us online at JagersHardware.com.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Portsmouth, Conway, and coming soon to Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive, or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leaf-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
Need to lose 100 pounds this year? Don't restrict your diet. Forget joining a gym. Instead, lose the weight of that cheating spouse of yours. At Mock Legal Solutions, there is no hourly billing. You pay one flat fee for your divorce. Call today, 479-769-1505. And let's be honest, it's closer to 200 pounds, right? Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Love and marriage, love and marriage.
At A&P Auto Sales, we take pride in the way we do business. We focus 100% on our customers and believe car buying should be a fun, hassle-free experience. We will work with your budget and offer a dependable car at a price you can afford. Bank financing is available with approved credit, or cash is always accepted. Hop on over to 1202 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren and choose from a wide selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Contact us today at 353-1246 or check us out online at apautosales.net. Find your next car at A&P Auto Sales in Van Buren.
Supply
issues are no issue at Shamrock Roofing and Construction. As one of America's largest roofing companies, we stocked up early and we stocked up big. We can do your job right now. And because we paid less for our material, we can share those savings with you. Call today or visit us at shamrockroofer.com. Attention homeowners, storms are firing up quickly and widespread damage means thousands are reaching out for the right roofing company. Don't wait. Get on the schedule with Shamrock Roofing and Construction now for quality and peace of mind. One call does it all. Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Call 479-319-5100.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I can see why you think you belong to me. I never tried to make you think or let you see one thing for yourself. But now you're off with someone else and I'm alone. See, I thought that I might keep you for my own. Amy, what you wanna do? I think I could stay with you for a while, maybe longer if I do.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Oh, I think that one was certainly chosen by me. I love that song. You know, I just learned something, though. This is pure Prairie League. Amy is spelled A-M-I-E on this song. I did not realize that.
That's your icebreaker anytime you're out and you meet an Amy.
That's good. That's good. Bub from Fayetteville liked that song much more than he liked Biz Markie covering Elton John. Hey, I wasn't trying to tell you that Biz Markie sounded good. Nobody would have ever confused Biz Markie with the words sounding good, but it still was entertaining.
Girls just want to have fun.
Well, and Biz Markie just kind of wants to groan and moan into the microphone.
When you think of like MTV, the glory days, MTV, I mean, how do you not think of Beastie Boys? I mean, that's yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, Fight for Your Right to Party. That whole album. But really, you know, the thing where I really started to get into the Beastie Boys was from the video to Sabotage.
That's a good one.
Remember, they make it look like they're like Starsky and Hutch, cops out of the 70s for that video. That one, I wasn't even into them until then.
It's kind of like the Foo Fighters have some really cool, cheeky, music videos. Like
Mentos.
Yeah.
That one cracked me up. You realize how long it's been since I've actually watched a music video,
right? That was the thing. MTV, man, you had to pay extra for it, but like you'd get it for like 1 week, it would show up. You could get it for like a week.
Matt, do you remember? I mean, their whole slogan was, "I want my MTV." Like, you were not connected to pop culture.
Kurt Loder, that's the only guy I got my news from. That's right.
Martha Quinn, Downtown Julie Brown. I mean, these guys actually, some of them still are doing their thing on Sirius XM radio. Like
they were breaking in when Kurt Cobain, did his thing and it was over with. I mean, that was the guy that was breaking into everything that was, when you were showing on the regular TV.
It's been a fun Monday, man. These Mondays, sometimes I'm never quite sure how I'm going to show up for a Monday. Sometimes I'm a little grumpy based upon how much sleep I got. Felt really good about things today. Even still, my favorite moment of the show was the emergency alert system cutting off Brian and Ozark's phone call. Like, that was, man, that I think they could call that Kismet. And I think we need to plan on Kismet for the rest of our show here. I think that would be a great idea. Colin Quinn, remote control. That's right, be in Clarksville. But still, one of my favorite things from MTV was when Weird Al Yankovic would take over. It would happen like once every year, once every 2 years.
You'd get the BJ?
It was called Al TV. Like, it was a takeover. You didn't see anybody else but him. And those were special moments on television.
Well, today was special.
It
Good
was
show.
special. Yeah, Mondays aren't so bad anyway. They're really not. Ruskin and Zach will make sure they entertain you on a Monday. And the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast has anything you missed today. Our talks with Mike Irwin, with Neil Atkinson, and with Connor O'Gara. And we'll do this all over again tomorrow. So have a great rest of your Monday. From Matt Jones, for the C Unit, Christian Johnston, I'm Phil. Thanks for listening. That's halftime. Get up, get out, and get better.